Everybody please rise. I'd like to start the meeting. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. It's a little loud. We've got an echo. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Township of Oldbridge Zoning Board of Adjustment regular meeting, July 16, 2026. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Oldbridge Township Zoning Board of Adjustment has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of this meeting by prominently posting in the municipal complex an announcement giving the time, the date, location, and the agenda of this meeting, mailing such announcement to the Home News and Tribune, filing a copy of such announcement with the municipal clerk, and finally by posting the agenda on the municipal website. May we have a roll call, Ms. Porcelli?
Sure. Ms. Andrews?
Here.
Ms. Gomez?
Here.
Mr. Izzo?
Here.
Mr. Scogno?
Here.
Ms. Spinelli?
Here.
Mr. Singh? Absent. Ms. Fernbach? Absent. Chairman Sullivan?
Here. This meeting is being televised on OBTV, the local cable network here, channel 15. Simultaneously, it's being broadcast on YouTube Live. If you ever need to refer back to the meeting, you can find that on YouTube. We're going to be a little out of order this evening, but I'll get to that when we get to the applications. We'll do some housekeeping issues first. The meeting will end at 10 with an open period of a half hour left for public comments. So I would be mindful to the attorneys, I'm going to have to split the time because we have probably 3 applications to be done or to at least get on the record in slightly over 2 hours. So we'll probably be cutting that in 40 or 45 minutes. All right, we'll see how that works out. We have a C application that is going to go first, so I don't think that's going to be that long. Back to business. Board members, item number 3 is the minutes. We have 2 of them this evening. As to June 4th, 2026, would someone move that for adoption?
Izzo.
Is there a second?
Andrews.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. Board members, the same as to June 18, 2026. Would someone move that for an adoption?
Gomez. Second.
Second, Ms. Spinelli, roll call.
Okay, 1 second, sorry. Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. I was just trying to save some time.
Sorry.
Item 4 is resolutions. We have 2 this evening. The first one, 8-2026, Stephanie and John Walcott, design waiver. Mr. Buckley? Oh, by the way, Martin Buckley, Esquire, counsel to the board this evening.
This is a resolution of the Zoning Board of Adjustment, Township of Oldbridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, granting design waiver for property known and designated as Block 18047, Lot 24, also known as 30 Farmbrook Drive, Oldbridge Township, New Jersey. Whereas the Zoning Board of Adjustment, Township of Oldbridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, hereinafter referred to as the Zoning Board, has received an application for design waiver relief for property known and designated as Block 18047, Lot 24, AKA 30 Farmbrook Drive in Oldbridge. Whereas the owner's applicants are Stephanie and John Walcott, and the applicant is appeared pro se. The purpose of the application was to obtain a design waiver relief to legitimize a driveway expansion that was installed without a permit, and the driveway was constructed 0.1 feet from the side yard property line where 5 feet minimum was required. The property is located in the R6 medium high-density residential zone. At the time of the public hearing, the applicant testified that they are seeking a side yard setback of 1.2 inches where 5 feet minimum is required, which requires a design waiver. By way of history, the applicant purchased the property 4 years ago, and their intention to expand the driveway to accommodate 2 vehicles. And that's essentially it. The matter was open to the public, and there was no opposition.
Thank you, Counselor. Board members, you've heard the resolution, so we'll move it, please.
Scogno, move it.
Is there a second? Izzo? Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. 07-2026Z, Enfra MCC LLC, major preliminary and final site plan C&D variance. Counselor.
This is the resolution of the Zoning Board of Adjustment, Township of Old Bridge, granting application for preliminary and final major site plan with use and bulk variance relief for property known and designated as Block 17000, Lot 28.11, which was formerly lots 28.11 and 28.12 in Old Bridge. The Zoning Board of Adjustment has received an application for preliminary major final site plan with use and bulk variance approval for those properties. The applicant is Enfra MCC LLC. The applicant was represented by Niall O'Brien Esquire, and the purpose of the application is to receive preliminary and final major site plan approval with use and bulk variances to construct a solar photovoltaic array at the subject site, canopying over the existing parking areas to the west and north of the main hospital building. The property is located within the hospital H zone. In support of the application, the applicant has submitted various documents and provided testimony of Todd Giddings Jr., a professional engineer, and let's see, Keith Coast for the applicant, Brandon Cole for the applicant, Lance Landgraf, who's a professional planner, and the matter was open to the public, and there was no opposition, and the board decided to grant the application.
Thank you, Mr. Buckley. You've heard the resolution. Someone move it, please.
Gomez.
Is there a second?
Andrews.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. At this time, Mr. Buckley, I would ask you, we have three professionals on the dais this evening. I'd ask you to please swear them in.
Sure. Can everyone raise their right hand? Does everybody swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Could you please just state your name on the record for the audience?
Sure. Rakesh Darji with Environmental Resolutions. I'm the zoning board engineer.
Veena Savan, the township planner.
And Daniel Hallahan, zoning officer.
Thank you all. So we're going to go a little out of order this evening. We have a C variance that we're going to deal with first before we move on to the further applications. So if you're holding an agenda, it's the last one on. Please feel free to come up. It's 11-2026Z, Arthur Lessler. This is the R20 low medium density residential zone. It's block 13001, lot 50. Physical location is 5 Leanne Court here in the township. Applicant is seeking approval for an open-air portico above the existing platform along Ellen Circle side of the property. Mr. Lessler, I know you've appeared here before us, I think, and with your wife as well. The board attorney is going to swear you in first before you seat, okay?
Can you raise your right hand, both of you? Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? And can you state your name for the record?
Just state your names. Well, you could sit down and then just state your names and your physical address. You got to turn those on. They are directional, so they have to kind of be close to you, the microphones. And then
My
you can,
name?
Yeah, you can.
Alva Kramer Lessler.
Okay.
Yeah, Arthur Lessler.
Okay. And you both live at 5 Leanne Court, right?
Correct.
Okay. You could probably slide that over to the professional, and I would ask that Mr. Buckley swears you in at this time as well.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. State your name for the record. Spell your
Sure.
last.
Gregory, middle initial J, Waga, W-A-G-A, 2109 St. George Avenue, Rahway, New Jersey, 07065.
You testifying tonight as, sir?
Yes, about 2 years ago, I was in front of this board.
Right, you're a professional architect?
I am.
Okay. And you are licensed presently in the state?
In the state in good standing, yes, and
Okay,
8
sir.
others.
And I
Yeah.
know you have appeared before this board as well.
Thank you.
I don't know that you're obviously not representing them as counsel, but you are representing them as a professional architect. Normally, when we have C variances, people don't bring representation, and I know what probably Mr. Waga will do for you, but I would open up by saying, as you came the last time, what we want to know is what is it that you want to do, why are you doing it, how's it going to be accomplished, and anything else you might want to tell us. If there's any physical exhibits other than what you've already submitted, you would give them to Ms. Porcelli, and they'd be handed out to the board. Short of that, if you feel like just turning it right over to Mr. Waga, you can do the same.
I'll defer to my wife, she can make a few comments.
Okay, then, that's a very good answer.
This is pretty much her project.
Okay, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Tell us what's going on at your home.
So we wanted the portico in the back. We have a sunroom, which you guys.
You were here a number of years ago for, I recall
Yes,
that.
and it's wonderful. So we wanted that for the back steps. Sometimes I go out and put things out there. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. What else?
Okay.
We have one in the front, a portico.
so it would look the same as the one you're going to put in the...
No, it's going to be much smaller.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah, much smaller.
I'm sure the professional could, he'll probably explain the dimensions to us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you want to do this so you sit there, I guess, or you...
Well, it's small, but yes, or sometimes I put things out, and that's it.
Okay. Anything, sir?
No comment.
Probably very good as well. I'll let you take it over, sir.
Thank you, Chair. So, as Ms. Lessler just espoused.
Hold on one moment, sir.
Sure. Oh, okay. No worries. Thank you. So as Ms.
It's on.
As Ms. Lessler just espoused, we did, what we're doing here, we have unfortunately, well, fortunately and unfortunately, a situation where the home buffers two streets. Therefore, we have two front yards to take into consideration. The front yard setback, we did complete a portico addition last fall. It's since been built, and it didn't encroach into the front yard setback. The front yard setback in this zone is 50 feet. We satisfied that obligation on the front yard off of Leanne. However, we're deficient substantially in the rear yard. The lot is skewed, the home is skewed on the lot. It's not directly parallel with Ellen. And therefore, we have two different setbacks. We have one approximately 17 feet and one approximately 18 feet. The reasoning for us being here is because the Lesslers requested that the portico be attached to the house. And in doing so and meeting nicely with Dan and Maureen, they've been so helpful throughout this process. We were advised that once you attach it to the house, now it becomes part. We looked at options for creating a detached portico. It would have looked awkward. So therefore, we came up with a very interesting solution. We're just going to follow the profile. Let me just inform you that the sheets that I'm presenting, there's no new exhibits. They're both sheets, two of the sheets that were presented to you and that you have in front of you. So basically what we do, we have a gable roof, a low slope gable roof off the rear elevation, and we're adding what is the equivalent of just over 37 square feet of portico, which will not exceed the footprint of the existing stair, only on the sides for drainage purposes. Everything will align. It'll be streamlined. Here it's shown on the right side, center of the drawing, and it'll be open air. Columns will be bearing down on the already structurally sound stair system, and everything will be tied in to satisfy everything code related for building.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Dan, Mr. Hollihan.
Mr. Waga stole my thunder here. There's really not much else I got to say. Keep going. Yeah, so as he was explaining, that the home has two frontages. In the front yard of where the house faces, you have Leanne, and then in the back, you have Ellen Circle. So there's a 50-feet requirement for the frontage along both sides. So as he mentioned before, the portico or the sunroom was approved by this board, I think, back in 2021, 2022. The stairs were part of that application, although they were uncovered. The reason that they're here tonight is because now they want to cover the stairs So that roof over those stairs now further encroach into that front yard setback. So it's just the 1C variance. The proposal, I believe, is 17.
Yeah, I can
Let me
review that.
see.
It is 17.63 on the left and 18.5 on the right side of the stair as you're facing the back elevation.
Yep. So the variance would be 17 and change where 50 feet is required.
And it just barely goes over what's already there, the stairs, in order for the drainage?
Correct, yeah,
Not go
a
on.
foot or
Yeah,
two
we're
plus
just
or minus.
aligning a chair with the soffit of the existing pre-approved sunroom so that everything looks nice and uniform. It looks as though we're built that way 4 years ago or 3 years ago.
Understand.
Yes, sir.
Anything else at this point, sir?
No, sir.
Anything else, Mr. Holohan?
No, Chair.
Questions from the board? I'll start on my left.
No.
None? No, thank you. No? Good. Ms. Andrews?
No question.
I have none. I think you've offered it succinctly. Mrs. Lessler did a great job on
Yes, star witness today.
taking us through that. I have no questions.
Thank you.
You have anything else you want to say at this point?
I don't.
I have to open a
don't.
public portion on this. Is that okay? Yes. All right. This is matter 11-2026Z. Physical location here is 5 Leanne Court in Old Bridge for a portico. Anybody in the room here this evening wish to be heard? Please raise your hand or stand. This will be the only public portion because I'm assuming we're going to make a decision on this evening. Counselor, seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion.
Sounds good.
Anything left that you would want to say?
No, sir.
Mr. and Mrs. Lessler, anything you want to add?
No, sir.
Okay. You're going to ask us for a C variance for the setback, and that's the only issue, right? There's nothing else.
Correct.
All right. There's C variance for the setback, which is, I guess, pre-existing in a sense that it was already granted for the stairs. Someone interested in moving this for the C variance?
Izzo.
Is there a second for this?
Andrews?
Roll call, please, as to C.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. Has been approved. There'll be a resolution by the next meeting.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for coming in. We'll see you in 3 years for another project.
Very much appreciated.
Okay, sir. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Sure, take care.
All right. As soon as they clear out. All right, we're going to do Juan Figueroa is going to be next. It's 63-2023Z, Juan Figueroa. It's EDO1 zone. That's economic development opportunity in R7, medium-high density residential. This is block 26020, lot 5.11. Minor site plan with D variance. The applicant proposes to legitimize the site as a mixed-use residential and commercial business for a flooring business. The physical location here is 1123 Englishtown Road. Mr. Louis Granada, Esquire, representing the applicant. Mr. Granada.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Louis Granada, I'm appearing on behalf of Mr. Ferguson. This application is as a result of... Before we go any further...
You're going to need a microphone too, Mr. Granada, so you feel free to be seated if you feel more comfortable.
And you're not going to be using a stenographer?
That is the board rule, so you can waive that rule and you can take on your own for the, I guess, through the media.
A short overview of the application. Mr. Figueroa has owned this property for over 20 years. It's on Englishtown Road. He has operated a business there consisting of a flooring business. The operation, there is no business there. There's no commercial activity on the property other than employees coming there, getting into a van and going off to a work site. There's no storage of any equipment, no storage of any materials. The application was, I believe a neighbor complained about it, and that's how it came to a violation of, or that's how this started. So for 20 years he was operating it, nobody ever bothered him. Mr. Figueroa, please.
Yes, good evening to everybody.
Board Attorney will swear you in, sir.
You raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And can you state your name and spell your last?
My name is Juan Figueroa, Figueroa.
Mr. Figueroa, where do you reside?
Currently, I reside overseas in Cali, Colombia, South America.
And you're the owner of this property?
Yes, sir, 1123 Englishtown Road,
And how long have you owned this property?
since 2006.
And in 2006, explain to the board what you did with regard to the property, the condition of the property, and what improvements, if any, you did to the property.
Okay, the business I founded in 1996, I was renting a property in Arby's Landscaping down in Englishtown Road. I purchased the property for the reason of moving my business to my own location. When I purchased the property was kind of like run down. The person that used to own it, he didn't live there all the time. So the backyard was in a little bit of a mess. There was an above-ground pool. There was a lot of weeds and whatnot. So we cleaned up the backyard. We removed the pool. The garage was in need of some sort of a repair work. We did that. Throughout the years, we did some siding, roofing to the house. Everything was done by Sodano Contracting. And the company always was based there. At one point, I used to live in 113 Bentley Avenue, and the business was 1123 Englishtown Road. Then I sold the property in Bentley Avenue. I moved to live at the property 1123 Englishtown Road and maintain the business there. The operations is about 8 o'clock in the morning. One vehicle comes to the property. About 4 guys comes into the property. They go into the garage. They change. They load the equipment that is needed, vacuums, buffers, sometimes polyurethane, water base, a little bit of brushes and hand tools that is loaded into the vans, and then take off to the job sites, which are 95% residential and about 5% commercial. So they leave the car behind. There is 3 commercial vehicles, 3 vans for work. So they go in the vans.
And where are the vans maintained?
The vans are maintained, any kind of work related to the vehicles is down the road or by the tire shop right here on 516, American Tire.
No maintenance or repairs are done to the vehicle?
None.
On site?
No maintenance, no repair, no washing of the vehicles, nothing to do with the vehicles there. It's just parked at night and take off in the morning.
Does the board have a copy of the site plan? Yes, that's it. There's a residence on the property. Would you describe to the board the home that's there?
Yeah, the house has 4 bedrooms. There is a family of 3 adults and 2 children living in the household.
They live there, that's their home?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what do they do with regard to the business, if anything?
Well, the business is I manage the business from overseas via internet. So the phone rings on my cell phone in Colombia. I answer. I make the appointments. I schedule the appointments for estimating. I'll send them to the guy via WhatsApp, and then he goes and does the estimating. He sends me the paperwork via WhatsApp. I do the estimating in computer in Colombia. I'll send them to the homeowners via email, and then that's how we work.
Okay, so other than the vehicles being stored on the property and the use of the garage, there's no other operation of the business there?
No, there is a desk with a computer and a telephone, but there is nobody there answering the phone. There is nobody going into the house to see any kind of products or any kind of materials because there is nothing there.
Are there any deliveries to the property?
No, all the property, all the materials are delivered to the job sites because the nature of my business is the wood has to acclimate in their home that is going to be installed. So they cannot be brought into the shop and then brought into the homeowners to be installed. It has to be at the homeowner's job site in order to be able to be installed.
So the total operation of the business is the employees, you said 4 employees
Yes,
arriving in one vehicle
yes, in the morning.
in the morning between what time?
7:45 to 8 o'clock, they come in, they get changed, they load the vehicles with the hand tools, they go to work, 8:15, 8:30, they leave the premises in the work vehicles. When the job is completed, then they come back, unload the tools, get into the vehicle that they came in, they carpool every day from West New York, New Jersey, and they go back home.
And that's the total operation, the total business activity that's at the site.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any signs with regard to the operation of the business on the property?
No, sir.
So anyone walking down the street or traveling past this particular property just sees a house and a parking lot?
Yes, sir.
No
Residential.
other activities?
No.
Does the house have any outside lighting to illuminate the parking area where you have your vehicles?
No, it's just residential lighting, it's nothing commercial.
Now, there's a concrete pad into the, it's not up on the,
I'll get it.
could you put the second page, please?
Yep. Just 1 second. There you go.
Thank you. On the right-hand side of the site plan is the Old Bridge, Englishtown, Middlesex County Route 527. And to the left, to the rear is Park Avenue.
That's correct.
And there's a concrete pad to the rear of the property in back of the masonry garage. Does the board see where that is?
Do you want a pointer?
It would be helpful. My fingers aren't that long.
There you go.
Right there?
The rectangular, yes.
That's the concrete pad.
Correct.
What is that, what's the purpose of that concrete pad?
That's to hold a 15-yard dumpster to, when we finish the jobs, or depending on the job that we are performing on a daily basis, sometimes we go to a home that we have to remove the carpeting because the hardwood floors are beneath the carpeting. So the client requests to remove the carpeting. So we take the carpeting, cut it up, put it in this dumpster to be disposed when the dumpster is full. So,
How often is the dumpster removed or emptied?
it's about a month, once a month during the day. This dumpster belongs to Sudano Waste Disposal, so he doesn't operate at night, he only operates during the day.
So once during the entire month, other than your employees and the residents there, the only other vehicle that comes onto the property is Sedano to remove or replace that dumpster?
That's correct.
And do you know what time of day he does that?
Everything depends on his schedule, but mainly, most of the time is in the morning.
I have no further questions.
Ms. Watt? Mr. Heilhan, you doing anything on this?
I
Okay.
have no questions at this point, Chairman.
Board members, any questions of the owner?
Question about the dumpster. Is it an enclosed dumpster, or is it something that you can just toss something in? Like, say, if it rains, will the carpet start smelling after time?
Well, there is a tarp that is applied over the dumpster and tied down just to prevent anybody to go in by accident.
Inside the gate?
It is inside the property. Well, the property is gated by a fence throughout the entire house, but there is a gate specifically for the dumpster.
On the backside on Park Avenue, it looks like there's a set of gates that open. Is that so the dumpster can come in and out?
No, ma'am, because the curb is too high for any type of vehicles to go in there.
Okay.
It is there for the purpose of removing the residential garbage that is being picked up on Park Avenue.
Okay.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yeah, I have a question regarding the stains and varnishes.
Yes, ma'am.
They're kept in the building?
Yes.
Okay. Are they flammable? Because stains and varnishes and, rags that you've used to stain things with and everything else, they do become flammable.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is in place to protect that? Should a fire start or should something happen?
Okay. Yes, we do get an inspection on a yearly basis from the fire department. As a matter of fact, it happened last week. The fire department goes in there and inspects the property for whatever they do the inspections for. 99% of the work that we do nowadays is done with water-based polyurethanes and finishes.
Okay.
They're not flammable due to the fact that that is a possibility of happening. So
Right, well, it's the 1% I'm worried about. So
you're
like, is there
absolutely right.
fire suppression? Is there, my concern is you're running this business, you're not here. So what happens if something happens? Someone's got to call you, they got to call Columbia, you have to get someone here to take care of it. I guess these tenants are just tenants for you?
okay,
They're not connected with this at all?
No, they are. Yes, they are, ma'am. Back in 2013, I became widow, so I sold the business to this person that is living in the household. So that's when I left the country. I went back home.
So the person living in the household
Is
owns the business?
He owns the business, correct?
You manage it from Columbia?
Yes, ma'am. I'm an employee. I just own the property.
You own the property?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. So anything related to that type of emergency, he is right there on site.
Okay.
Anything else, Ms. Spinelli?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, no, that was it, thank you.
Thank you. Yes. How many employees show up in the morning?
4 employees comes in the vehicle.
And how many? 4 vehicles? 4 separate vehicles?
No, 1 vehicle that they carpool from West New York
Right.
into the property.
And then how many vehicles are on the site to the trucks leaving?
There is 3 vans, commercial vans, work vehicles, that they go to the different jobs during the day.
So you have 4 employees coming in
Yes, sir.
and 3 vans going out.
Yes, sir.
And what time is that in the morning?
They arrive to the property around 7:45 to 8 o'clock, depending on traffic. As long as they change and they load up the tools, they take off. So usually by 8:15, 8:30, they're off the property.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the noise factor in that area with the homeowners living around you at that time in the morning, hearing trucks open and things like that, and supplying their trucks and things.
Yeah.
It can be annoying. I wouldn't want to live next to it.
If I may, what they load in, when you load in a vehicle, you open the doors, you put the tools in there, shut the door, and leave. So it's not as,
And there's conversations, it's just, okay, thank you.
Mr. Rizzo?
Is there a division between the home and your masonry building?
yes, sir, there is a PVC vinyl fence, 4 feet high.
And it'll go straight across to separate the two. And you've been running this business has been running for 20 years
Yes, sir.
at this location,
At this location, yes, sir.
in the same conditions,
Yes, sir.
nothing changed.
No.
Zone to do that?
Ms. Andrews?
Yeah. I'm seeing the site, and I just saw it from the front of the building. It seems like your driveway goes completely over to Park Avenue. That driveway is not used consistently to go in and out?
Yeah,
of Park Avenue?
The driveway looks, if you look at from the front of the house, it seems that the driveway goes all the way, and then there is an open, it looks like an open fence. Now, you said that nobody comes in there for the dumpster, but do your trucks go through go out the Park Avenue exit?
Yes, ma'am. The only entrance to the property is from Englishtown Road, and that is that driveway that you're talking about, that it goes way back to Park Avenue.
Park Avenue.
But in Park Avenue, there is no entrance or exit because the curb wasn't allowed for that. So the vehicles enter and exit through Englishtown Road.
Okay, and you said something about rubbish being picked up? That's the only thing that goes out those doors from the Park Avenue fence?
No, ma'am. The rubbish comes in, the truck comes in, load up the dumpster into the truck and exit, enter and exit through Englishtown Road. There is no usage of the back door for Park Avenue. It's only to remove the residential garbage can that is being picked up in Park Avenue.
Okay, because the fence looks like it opens both ways. When
In the front,
it's not a solid straight across. There is an opening there. There are two doors, correct?
in Park Avenue, yeah, there is a gate that is
Yeah,
being used
yeah.
only for that purpose. But on the front, there used to be a gate that we used to open and close, but when we had that hurricane, they just blew away, so we decided to just leave the front part without the.
Yeah, well,
the gate- without the
my
gates.
concern is if the gate can be open and closed, and it's quite large, it looks to be quite large.
In the back, yes, ma'am.
In the back, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I would imagine if it wasn't going to be used, it would be a solid fence across there.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm trying to reduce the size of that gate to a single gate, I don't know, 4-footer for the garbage can to be able to go in and out, rather than having two full-size
So then
gates.
your regular refuse is done on Park Avenue, not on Englishtown Road?
Yes, residential garbage disposal or pickup is on Park Avenue.
So in the pictures on the maps, the green garbage can is your garbage can?
It could be, yes, there is a green and there is a blue garbage can, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You have 4 employees, right?
Yes, sir.
They all come in one car,
Yes, sir.
and then 3 of them drive a vehicle, and what happens to the other person?
It goes with them.
Well, he goes with one of them.
Yes, we want to, whatever
The family that lives in the home is now I assume male or female, one of them is the owner of the business.
yes, sir.
Okay. Do they do operations from the home, or do they go back to the office?
Operations regarding,
Well, operations, I guess the daily routine of doing accounting, doing businesses, the scheduling, I mean,
that if there is any kind of.
or is the owner not involved, is the present owner not involved in the operations?
No, he is, yes.
Okay.
If there is any kind of operations to be done at home, is done in the basement where there is a desk, where there is a computer and a printer. So I do print the estimates, tell them, well, I printed the estimate, just pick it up and go.
Okay. So the area that looks like a garage
Yes, sir.
on a smaller scale is for the tools.
Yes, sir.
There's no operation that goes on in there other than the storage of tools.
Correct, only storage.
What is the tree fort for? The tree fort,
That was for the kids of the residents.
okay, and the shed in the back,
For lawnmower, snow blower.
property maintenance?
Yes, for the residents.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
You have another witness, Mr. Granado?
Yes. Allison Coffin?
Oh, I'm sorry, you got something?
Yeah.
Do you have an engineer who would be testifying too, or is it just Allison?
It's Allison.
So then who is going to respond to some of the questions related to the site?
I believe that Mr. Key has already responded to the engineer and is going to comply with any of the requirements.
No, but we haven't seen anything, and there are some questions that need to be answered by the engineer.
What questions in particular?
I mean, if you go to the memo, there are significant amount of questions, like giving you an example. Now, I was just looking at it, you have a fence, you're asking for a use variance. What are your positive criteria? I don't see any landscaping, don't see any buffering to screen, because there has been a neighbor who has been complaining over years about noise, about dust on the property. There is, when I'm going to evaluate it for a use variance, why would the board grant it unless, there is some efforts taken by the owner to address some of those concerns?
The owner is willing to put in landscaping and buffering, especially where the cars are parked, between where the cars are parked. He intends to install those bumpers where you drive in and stop, and then put some landscaping between the front of the vehicle and along the fence. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And also to landscape the property a little in the front.
I understand that, but we have asked for testimony on noise, dust.
The amount of cars that can be actually accommodated on, the amount of vehicles and the size of vehicles, the types of vehicles that can be accommodated on the site, how they circulate through, all that, those are,
there are questions.
I know Allison can testify to that stuff, but I just don't know if she's comfortable testifying to that kind of stuff.
I'm a little surprised that the engineer is not in attendance at this public hearing.
Mr. Key indicated that he was going to contact the engineer and resolve all those.
I
He didn't?
have not heard from anyone from the engineer's office.
I would ask the chair to allow the engineer to resolve all those issues that were raised by your engineer. We will-
In fact, if I
He's
may,
going to appear and testify before us, right?
I would ask you to carry it so that he can appear.
Yeah, well, we can put the planning testimony on tonight, and
Okay, thank
then we can have, I'm sorry?
I would hold off from the planning
Okay.
testimony only because there are some questions that have been raised pertaining to how Allison would testify on the positive criteria. Unless that is presented and testified, I don't think she's in a position to comment or testify. She would have to come back again and provide. I would say hold off from planning testimony as well. Have the engineer come and testify, and then she can sum up the use variance, because again, it's a split zone property, residential within non-residential zone. Especially, we have never allowed residential zones in EDO 1, and now you have commercial in residential zone. She needs to provide a solid testimony to satisfy all the criteria. That would be my recommendation. Allison, tell me if I'm wrong.
It does sound like we need to address particularly the impacts, landscaping, fencing more clearly, so that I can say that there is no negative impact.
Okay, well, Mr. Granat, even the planner, I guess, is giving a suggestion that we go by what Ms. Sawant has asked, and have the engineer testify, and then, of course, your planner
Then I
close
would
that.
ask the chair to carry this.
We'll certainly do that, sir. We're going to find a date, I don't know.
Mr. Granata, we'll be happy to have a conversation with your engineer prior to the hearing. So please have him reach out to us, and maybe we can.
I thought he did.
Yeah, we could have, even if required, a quick technical review meeting, a virtual one, before he comes in, so that when he comes in, he's prepared, and it helps Allison testify as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and just when he does contact us, probably the best thing to do is to go through Ms. Porcelli, because she's good at wrangling everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, before we end, because there was testimony, I do have to open up a public portion to see if there's any commentary. This matter is 63-2023Z. The physical location is 1123 Englishtown Road. Anyone here on this matter who would wish to be heard, please raise your hand or stand. Okay, this matter is going to be continued. There will be another hearing, but I would ask anybody at this moment If you're interested, now is the time to raise your hand or stand. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion.
Thank you.
Okay, that's going to be determined. Or are you going to assign?
I have August 6th, but I think it's too soon, right?
What's the date?
August 6th, but that's too soon, correct? To have everything, to have a tech meeting and what have you with the engineer, right? Okay, so then we'll have to go to,
Yeah, today's 16th. You want to put it on and see if we have to adjourn it? Okay, hold on 1 minute.
I would ask that it be put on for the 6th in the event that it can't be resolved before then for the
I
next
understand,
meeting.
yes, and I can do a lot of things as the chair I can't schedule. So,
Well, you're in charge. And I would ask the board to, since Mr. Figueroa has testified, that it's not necessary for him to come back.
he's been subject to cross-examination by the board. I guess that we've asked what we wanted. I think anything else wouldn't probably be necessary. I don't see any reason for him to be
I will
recalled.
appreciate it that's possible.
No, I understand you live out of the
fact
country.
that I have to travel
I understand.
3,000 miles away.
As to the professionals, are you satisfied with Mr.'s testimony this night?
Yeah.
Okay, so he can be excused for the next hearing? All right,
I mean, as long as Allison is prepared to testify anything what he has testified before, in terms of operation, I'm fine with it.
okay, very
I could
good.
always arrange to have him appear by Zoom if needed.
what's that?
Okay, I doubt that will be necessary. Are we going to do August 6th and see what happens?
No, we're going to do September 3rd?
September 3rd.
September 3rd?
Mr. Granata, September 3?
I'll have to check my schedule, but I'll
Okay,
let the board know.
all right, no further notice.
Thank you.
All right, thank you all for being here this evening. This
Thank
matter,
you very much.
this matter, if you're listening in from home, will be continued on the agenda September 3rd. There will be no further notice.
I'm just thinking, September 3rd.
Labor Day is the 7th this year, it's the last. Labor Day is the 7th, so it's going to be before the holiday.
I'm bringing my granddaughter down to SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, over that weekend.
You can figure out with
Okay.
Ms. Porcelli on that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Granata. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr.
Good
Figueroa.
night.
Right. Okay, let's move along. We're going to do Chadari, right? Yes? Okay. 55-2025Z, Chadari Property Group LLC. This is the OG General Office Zone, Block 15000, Lot 2. Physical location, 3384 Highway 9. This is for a second floor residential apartment. Applicant seeking to convert the upstairs use for residential, seeking major preliminary final site plan with C&D variances. David Himmelman, Esquire, representing the applicant. Mr. Himmelman.
Mr. Chairman, David Himmelman for the applicant. Pleasure to see you.
Pleasure to see you as well, sir. We have another mic that we can slide over.
We could slide that over.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Good evening. I represent the applicant, Sherardi Property Group LLC, and I have a brief opening, Mr. Chairman, and then we'll proceed expeditiously with our witnesses, so thank you in advance. As you know, the applicant has applied to this board for final site plan, preliminary and final site plan and use variance approval, and for the record, the property identified as Block 15,000, Lot 2, of course, on your tax map in Old Bridge, and the address is 3384 Route 9 in Old Bridge. As the chairman indicated, the applicant filed an application with the board seeking approval to convert the upstairs unit for residential use at the property. As your planner has indicated in her memorandum, the property is located in the Office General Zone District, otherwise known as OG1. The proposed use, as you know, is not permitted in the OG1 zone. Therefore, a D1 use variance is required under the municipal land use law. There are several also bulk C relief items that are required, and we will address those in our planning testimony. Just to give a little background, the property was previously zoned R6 and is now surrounded by the R6 zone. As noted in your planner's review memo in 1995, the previous owner sought a use variance to convert the residential dwelling to office use, and that variance was granted. The upstairs unit, as you will hear from the applicant, has been vacant since 2022, despite efforts to lease the space for office use. You will hear testimony from our real estate expert that the existing layout is more suited for residential use. In addition, we believe the proposed change reflects the current market demand for residential apartments and makes better use of the space. As you know from your planner's review memorandum, this is a D1 variance, and we have to satisfy the requirements under the statute, under the municipal land use law. And as your planner indicated in her memo, this site wouldn't qualify for inherently beneficial, so we must satisfy that the site is particularly suited, and you will hear from our planner accordingly. We also believe that there are special reasons can be satisfied, that the property is particularly suited for the proposed residential use on the second floor of the existing building. We think the proposed use will provide an opportunity for affordable rental housing, and the applicant believes that the use fundamentally will serve the public good and will promote the general welfare. With that, Mr. Chairman, assuming you don't have any questions, or your board or your professionals, we can proceed with our first witness, who is
By
the
all means.
applicant.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Can you state your name and spell your last?
Speak into the mic.
Nisha Chadari.
Spell your last name, please.
Chaudhari.
Good evening, Dr. Schwarty. So just for the record, if you could just put your address on the record so that the board understands that.
Yep, 21 Kristen Court, Mattawa, New Jersey.
Very good. And what is your affiliation with the subject property?
A property owner, member of the LLC.
Okay, so you're a member of the LLC, correct? Okay, great. When did Schwarty Property Group LLC purchase the property?
In September of 2022.
All right. And when you purchased the property, did you understand that the upstairs unit had been previously approved for office use under the prior R6 zoning?
Yes.
Okay. What efforts have you made to market the property for lease for office use?
I got an attorney. I got a realtor,
So you hired a real estate?
real estate agent to go ahead and lease the property upstairs. Yep.
And when did you retain the real estate broker?
In September of 2022.
All right, so it was shortly after you bought the property, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. And how long has the property been vacant?
Since 2022.
All right. Are you aware if any prospective tenants have expressed concerns about renting the unit for current office use?
So yes, we have had a few applicants, and every time there was an applicant, well, some of the times they've always asked that, can we rent out the space, and then can one of our employees also live there in the second unit, because there is a full bathroom, and we've had to reject it because we know that it's not approved for residential, so we wouldn't want to have the risk of someone staying there inappropriately.
So these would have been companies that would be looking to rent the space but have their employees occupy a portion of the unit?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Now, on the other side, have you spoken with any individuals interested in renting the unit as a residential apartment?
Well, no, I have not personally.
Okay. But your real estate broker has,
Yes,
correct?
yeah.
Okay. Do you think that is the entrance to the upstairs unit, where is that located on the site?
Behind the building.
Okay. And do you think that that's more appropriate for the residential use since it's not in close proximity to the highway?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had a chance to review the recommendations and outline in Mr. Want's memorandum of July 10th with regard to the site plan?
Yes.
And are you generally in agreement with those recommendations and conditions?
Yes.
Okay, great. You got to speak up, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. Would you like to add any thoughts about why you think the board should approve this application, particularly with regard to your position that this may be more suitable for residential use.
Yes, absolutely. So as an optometrist, I've had the privilege of serving as a preceptor for resident doctors who complete their clinical rotations at one of my offices in West Orange. And these healthcare professionals rotate through my practices and other practices in the area for approximately 3 to 4 months. And they frequently ask if I know of any places that offer temporary short-term housing options. And unfortunately, I never had an appropriate place to recommend that's short-term. This unit would help address that need by providing temporary housing for young healthcare professionals who are here solely for their clinical rotations. These residents are hardworking professionals with well-structured schedules and are in the community for a limited period of time before returning to their home institutions. Because of the size and the layout of the unit, it is not designed to accommodate a family. Instead, it is much better suited for a single adult or at most a couple. Its location directly across from public transportation also makes it an ideal option for professionals who commute to hospitals or medical offices, reducing traffic and parking demands. I believe this use would not only be compatible with the surrounding neighborhood, but also provide a meaningful benefit to the healthcare community in Old Bridge by offering housing for professionals serving patients in our area.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sherardi. Would you like to add anything, or you think you've covered everything?
No, I think I covered everything.
Okay.
If they have
Mr. Chairman, I don't have any further questions of Dr. Sherardi, but you or your board members or your professionals might.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Himmelman. Mr. Watt?
I really don't have any questions for Dr. Chaudhry.
Okay. Mr. Darcy, you have anything for the doctor?
I don't have anything for this application, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, very good. I'm starting down on my left.
Yeah.
The only thing I was reading about a fence that should be put onto the property line where it belongs, but it was put up in 21 and 24, between 21 and 24. Other than that, I have no other questions. It's a stock PVC vinyl fencing around the back of the property.
I'm sure we'll get to that if,
Yeah,
by one of the other witnesses.
Correct. And,
Okay.
right.
Thank you. Ms. Midon?
Yeah, I just have a question. Is there any cooking facilities in the downstairs where the optometrist is? Because you would be adding a kitchen upstairs, so there's not going to be any kitchen or anything downstairs?
No, there's absolutely nothing like that.
Mr. Scogno?
Is the downstairs rented also?
Yes.
Is the businesses running?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Rizzo?
If you are going to help renting out upstairs, you did make a remark that after time, they'll move on to other places. So you'll be in the same predicament again to get that rented again. So once this, if got approved, then she would be able to keep it rolling, right?
Right, once the permission, if the permission were granted, yes, it could be used as such.
Yeah, so the way rotations work is that there's different hospitals that are affiliated, so there's different residents that come every quarter. So once one person leaves, then like whether it be nurses, resident doctors, whether it be cardiology, optometry, like there's always someone that's like rotating every quarter. So once someone leaves, a new person comes in.
So you know more, all right,
Yeah.
good.
Yes,
Not to be
there's no-
confused with transient housing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Anything else, Ms. Andrews?
This is only going to be for professionals in the medical field?
Yes.
It's
Well, I
not,
mean,
Well, I think I think the applicant's testimony is she believes that this could be a particular use for the medical community that she's been in contact with, but that may not be necessarily limited to that.
Yeah.
The applicant is just saying that because she happens to be an optometrist, that she's had the opportunity to interface with others in the medical community, and she's just testifying that she thinks there's a need for this type of housing for those individuals who are either residents or people who are doing rotations. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's who the apartment would be limited to if the board should approve this for a residential
well, if
purpose.
someone wanted to have a lease for a year or two, would that be acceptable, or you just want to keep it for?
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, no, she's just, the applicant's just saying that this particular area that she's involved in, she's had specific conversations with those in the medical field who may have expressed an interest to have a unit like this accessible to the hospital or wherever they're working. But absolutely, if the applicant could lease it out for a year or two, that would be fine.
Is your office downstairs? Are you, that's you're the eye doctor that's in the,
Yeah, but I don't do rotations at that office.
no.
Yeah, I do my rotations.
I just wanted to know if you were the eye doctor down there.
Yeah.
So you would be an on-the-premises landlord, so to speak.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mrs. Swan, were you going to say something?
So I just wanted to clarify that part to the board, that you're acting on a use variance so that the owner can rent out, or it's a residential unit on the top, but it has nothing to do with which professional goes in there. So when the board is reviewing this, this is a apartment use that will be permitted on the second floor of a commercial or an office building. So you just keep that in mind. How they sell it, how they rent it, doesn't matter whether it's short-term or long-term. The use that is going to be approved is for an apartment. So this is going to be a mixed-use building, and then the use would run with the land. So I think many, many years ago, it used to be a residential use. There was a use variance at that time because it was a different zone granted to allow office use on this property. But as you all know, in the last decade or so, office use is dying slowly. So we have been looking at properties, how you can alternatively use them. And especially this property is tiny and with land uses that support residential, the board could evaluate it for a potential mixed-use building.
Now, Mr. Chairman, if I could hire your planner, I would, but it might be a conflict. But I think she succinctly made the point.
Doctor, is there any way for me to traverse from your offices downstairs into the apartment upstairs?
Like you mean go upstairs?
Without going.
Without going outside?
No.
They're totally separate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the entrance is into the rear, into the
And
apartment.
so the board would know, they're not going to change the footprint of the building if they're going to do anything.
Correct.
Right? And we're going to have testimony to that effect.
Correct. No change of the footprint and the
Okay.
access.
I just want the board to understand what we're doing here.
That's a good question.
So it was already situated as an office, probably going back to the chiropractor, I guess, that was there years ago?
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
And it was a break room, I guess, or?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. That's all I have.
So, Mrs. Swan, what you're saying is that if we approve this, it's a rental property, regardless if it's a professional person or not, we're just approving a rental property. Now, we talked about, is children involved? So it's a rental property, you'll have to allow children.
So,
I think what the applicant was saying was that, given the configuration of the unit, it's unlikely that that's to occur, but we cannot, as you know, we could not restrict that. in
Right,
any way.
exactly. I was
Right.
just getting back to Mrs. Gomez's point about
Right.
fencing and protection, because Highway 9 is right there.
Right. And I think you'll hear from the applicant, from our engineer, but the fencing, I believe the majority of that was put in by the Deer Run development right behind.
Mm-hmm.
And to the extent there's any gaps that have to be filled in, the applicant will address that. Yeah, but you raise a good point.
Right, and it's more like a studio.
Correct. That's the point. Yeah. Yeah.
You go with your next witness, Mr.
Yes.
Himmelman?
Joe? Our next witness is.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right. Oh, you can go back, but don't leave.
Don't go too.
Don't go anywhere. Mr. Chairman, our next witness is our engineer, and he has to be sworn in and qualified.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, can you state your name and spell your last?
Certainly. Joseph Kashuba, Kociuba, KBA Engineering Services, Manasquan, New Jersey. I am standing in for Mark Lieber of East Point, who prepared the plans I've personally reviewed the plans as well as the review letters, and am testifying in my capacity as an engineer.
Very
Okay,
good.
you're certified, you're licensed in this state and it's current?
Yes.
You've testified before many boards. I don't particularly recall you before the board here.
I've testified for many boards throughout Monmouth and Ocean
Okay.
County. I don't believe I've had the pleasure
Okay.
to testify
We'll
here.
certainly accept your credentials.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Joe, we have up on the screen the site plan that was prepared by Mr. Lieber, which you're going to testify to. But before we get into that, I understand, are there any exhibits that you're going to refer to that are otherwise not included in the site plan?
Likely just the site plan. I know there were some photos that were submitted as part of the application, but my testimony will likely just be the site plan unless the board has particular questions.
All right, very good. Okay, so I would ask you to take us through the site plan, discussing the existing conditions, the property description. Obviously, you'll review the items also in Mr. Want's memorandum of July 14th, so I will turn it over to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So we have a compact lot. It's just slightly under 0.2 acres or 8,708 square feet. It's already fully developed. It contains an existing two-story frame building currently operated as a medical office. It has access to the first floor from the front of the building, fronting on Route 9 as east side, and to the second-story unit, access is from the rear of the building, the west side. It is surrounded completely by the deep run apartments or condos.
So you were leaving us there for a minute.
It features an existing paved driveway, parking area, freestanding sign in the front, as well as the fence that surrounds the property. Now, the vast majority of the fence is off of the property. The rear fencing, based upon historic street views, was original and installed by the Deep Run site. The fencing on the sides, I believe, were installed by the owner of this property at some point and recently repaired by the current owner. I believe the location of the fences was chosen given the grading concerns, but those fences are, somewhat off the property. So I know there was a comment about having to relocate those to the property line, and should the applicant gain approval, obviously they don't have the right to put it on someone else's property, so it would be relocated if necessary. The lot is highly constrained in that the pavement is almost right up to the property line around the rear, and that's pre-existing. It does have an existing stormwater system at the back of the property. The property slopes from front to rear with the existing drainage system in the rear that collects the runoff from the parking lot. It's also non-conforming with respect to several bulk standards, which the board planner will get into, but non-conforming in area, width, front setback, side yard setback, and landscape area ratio. The applicant is proposing, as we identified, to utilize the second floor apartment as an apartment rather than the office use and maintain the first floor medical office. There's no building footprint changes. There's no increase in floor area. There's no new impervious coverage, no major grading or earthwork or soil erosion proposed. From an engineering and site plan perspective, I don't really have a whole lot to talk to you about this evening. What we are proposing to do is restripe the parking lot. It's the striping's pretty faded, and provide a better layout with an appropriate handicap accessible parking stall. We will be providing 10 parking spaces as a result. The parking demand actually reduces as a result of the application. I believe about 9 parking stalls are required for all office, and the one bedroom unit actually reduces the parking demand. So 8 parking stalls required, 10 are provided. We are requesting a waiver for the parking stall size, looking to continue the 9 by 18 parking stalls. I know 10 by 20 are the standard for the municipality. However, 9 by 18 is what exists out there today. It's what's operable. It is recognized by the DEP and many other agencies as a standard minimum stall space, and allows us to maintain the existing impervious area without having to increase it. So I think that waiver is certainly justified. Access is provided from Route 9. We are striping a new stop bar, providing a stop sign, and providing the adequate ADA signage. As far as the utilities, the site is fully maintained fully serviced by water and sewer. No changes to any of the utility. Stormwater management is already managed on the site, and we did submit an aquifer recharge assessment that addresses that. As far as the site lighting, we are proposing to improve the site lighting. We are proposing 20-foot mounted height lights, where 18 is the maximum. The reason 20-foot was chosen, it just provides a little bit more uniformity, and the site is surrounded substantially, and you can see that in the planning reports, as well as any of the photos, substantially by evergreen materials, so that the difference in light height between 20 and 18, I don't believe will have any detrimental impact on the neighboring properties. We did provide a lighting design. There was a comment regarding the lighting levels provided at the entrance, and those lighting levels were chosen specifically as DOT limits lighting levels to 0.2-foot candles at the property line. Essentially, DOT's position is, we don't want you to light our roadway, we want to light our roadway. Those calculations actually discount the two Cobra headlights. There's one just north of the site, one just south of the site. So our calculations are only for the lights that we're proposing. I believe there's adequate lighting at the entrance from those existing street lights that are on the highway today. So I don't believe the lighting at the entrance is a concern. I think the board could certainly grant that waiver. We are proposing a landscaping package to comply with the ordinance required landscaping, in that we're providing 18 shrubs and 14 trees on the property. We're enhancing the buffer at the rear of the property. The deep run fence at the back is, not the prettiest. It's a little aged, so we're putting an evergreen screen in front of that for buffering between the two properties, as well as providing some ornamental trees down the sides, as well as shrubs around the building.
So, Joe, just to interrupt you, so that board-on-board fence, my understanding is that was installed and owned by your run community, to your knowledge?
The board on the sides, it very well could be. It is substantially on their property. I know the applicant indicated that she replaced it recently. It was in disrepair. And because it's much closer to them than it is to Deep Run, she did repair it. But as far as the ownership, I don't have any specific information that shows who originally installed the fence.
Okay, well, there was a comment also in Ms. Sawant's memo that the fence appears to encroach on the neighboring property.
It's fully on the neighboring property. In
Right,
fact,
so
the
we-
only portion of the fence that's on this property is there's a slight return at the southern side where it attaches to the building. That's the only part that's on the property. And to further enhance that it is actually Deep Run's fence, there's no trespassing signs all around, and the trespassing that it's blocking is someone going onto the Deep Run site, not coming onto ours. The signs are on the inside when you're on our property. So for all those reasons, I think it's likely that it's Deep Run's fence. We just did them a favor and fixed it up.
I mean, I guess to the extent that we could verify that, we don't have an objection relocating the fence, but I don't want to do that unless we can confirm who originally installed it and owns it.
I think as part of your compliance review, maybe you can verify that.
Yes,
And if it
yeah.
is theirs, then it is theirs.
Correct.
You know?
And the location, I think, is the most appropriate, having it a little setback from the impervious area.
Right.
If it's right on the property line, there is such a small setback that it's going to be really confining back there.
That matter can be settled, should there be an approval, right?
Yes, we can settle that issue during compliance.
Okay.
Correct. I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't-
There was a comment about existing trees. All of the existing trees that surround the project are not on the current property. They're all on the Deep Run site.
So
So it doesn't interfere with the new plantings that you are proposing?
I don't believe it should. Obviously, there might be some root system there for the installation, but I don't think any of that would be detrimental to the existing tree cover.
And I think there was also a comment about landscaping to the north because of the grade change, so you'll look into that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And we'll submit an updated landscaping plan.
Yes.
Okay.
It's real easy for me to say yes at these meetings because it's not my plans.
No, I understand. Also, I wanted to just address under the ordinance, Mr. Want notes Chapter 250-75 requires mounting height not more than 18 feet. This is on the foot candle.
Yep.
So I assume we'll address that, and the plans may have to be revised or seek a waiver on that?
We can. We are requesting the waiver. We think the 20-foot is appropriate and provides good lighting cover, but if the board has a substantial concern with that, we can adjust it, but I think as designed, it's appropriate.
Does it light up the rear where
It does, where currently there's only spotlights on the building that is likely more problematic for the surrounding residential. So the lighting design proposed is a more downcast and appropriate light design.
And the entrance is in the rear, correct?
The entrance to the residential is in
If
the
you're going to be
rear.
the resident, you would have lighting.
You'd have better lighting now compared to what exists.
As well as the front of the property for the offices of the doctor.
Correct.
Fair enough. Okay. Joe, did you cover everything, or do you want to?
I believe I did. I think it's, as from a site plan perspective, I think we're improving the site, making it better for a residential use there, improving the lighting, providing a little better landscaping. But other than that, the site's going to look very much like it does today.
Very good. I don't have anything further of our engineer, but Chairman or your board members or your.
Would the planner speak to what may be happening, should be granted inside the apartment? As far as,
Well, we did submit architectural plans. Is that what you mean?
yeah, is somebody going to testify to that?
Well, we submitted the architectural plans, but our architect is not here, but we can, we're pretty much proposing.
I reviewed the architectural plans. There is no structural change on the second floor. Everything remains the same.
Correct.
In fact, it's almost like the layout is conducive to a residential unit, a smaller residential unit.
Correct.
I'm good then.
Yeah.
I have no
Finished,
further,
sir?
I am.
I have no
George, you have
further
anything?
questions.
I do not, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, and Ms. Sawant,
I have no further.
I'm going to start on my left on the dais.
How was the home heated?
That is a great question. That I do not know.
Know how it's heated? What is it? Oh, it's central air.
I'm hearing central air. Is it
Which is forced hot air?
gas or electric?
It's gas.
Yeah, it sounds like gas furnace.
I see. Any plans for the roof? It seems to be a little weathered, and are you planning anything in the way of solar panels, things like that? It looks like a perfect home for that.
It does. I don't know that we're planning that as part of this application.
Yeah, but,
Something certainly to think about.
yeah.
The applicant just address that quickly if you want, Mr. Chairman.
Sure, she's still under.
You can sit, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the next year or two, I'm trying to see if we could get solar panels or something like that on the roof, and replacing the roof, especially because of the storm. So, yep.
I would recommend you replace the roof before you do that.
Well, you wouldn't, the solar company wouldn't allow that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we were moving up the line. Mr. Rizzo, no. Mrs. Andrews?
No.
We're good, Mr. Chairman, with this?
We're good.
Okay, great.
Thank you very much.
Don't move, but-
Thank you, sir.
Jacob? Our next witness is our real estate expert who's going to testify on the market issues related to the unit. And I guess, Jacob, we'd have to have you sworn in and.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And can you state your name and spell your last?
Jacob Kodakov, Khodakov.
Good evening, Jacob. Can you just briefly provide your educational background and experience in real estate for the board?
Yeah, I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I've been a real estate agent for a little over 8 years.
Very good. And do you hold a salesperson or broker's license?
Yes, I have a broker's license.
And your license is active?
Yes.
Correct? And you're affiliated with which brokerage firm?
Signature Realty?
Okay. And Signature has been retained by the applicant, Girardi?
Correct.
Okay. And that is to market and rent the second floor of the property for office use, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you're affiliated with Signature, and I presume you have offices in central New Jersey, and you serve clients in the Overbridge area? Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. You're aware of the application before the board that we're seeking to convert the upstairs unit for residential, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Were you involved and responsible for marketing the upstairs unit for the commercial office?
Yes, I was.
If you could briefly go over sort of your assessment of the current market conditions and what your experience has been in feedback with prospective tenants who have looked into this unit for office or commercial use?
Yes.
Okay.
So the office market has changed significantly in recent years as remote work has become more common, and also to lower overhead. So remote and hybrid work have reduced demand for traditional office space, especially smaller office spaces. Businesses are prioritizing flexibility and lower occupancy costs. Based on my experience marketing this property, there is very limited demand for this type of office layout.
Okay. And just turning to the issue before the board, do you think residential use might be more appropriate for this particular unit, and why?
Yes, because it already resembles an apartment because it has 2 separate rooms and also has a full bathroom.
Okay. Just to confirm what the applicant said, you were retained, I think approximately, your signature was retained in September of 2022, is that correct?
I was retained in 2024, so it's been on the market for about 542 days with me.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, fine, all right. And obviously, it's been vacant since then?
Vacant, yeah.
Okay, great. Do you believe that this would be a public benefit should the board approve the relief sought this evening?
Yes, approval of the variance would eliminate a long-term vacancy. The property would be occupied, maintained, and put to productive use. The proposed change reflects current market demand and makes better use of the space.
Very good, okay. Would you like to add anything else? Do you think you've covered it?
No, I think I've covered.
Okay, great. Mr. Chairman, I don't have anything further.
Yeah, the professionals first.
No questions.
No questions.
Starting over here.
What was the reasoning for having the upstairs from the beginning?
Say it again?
What was your reasoning with the real estate for the upstairs from the beginning of the purchase?
Well, the building was
Yeah.
constructed in that way, and our client, or the applicant, purchased it in 2022, but the building was built well before that.
Right, so what intention did you have for the upstairs? Downstairs, we see is an I company, and what were your intentions for upstairs?
So I was hired to lease it out to office use.
Office use?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
And that didn't work out?
it didn't work out.
I see, okay, thank you.
Right.
Mr. Rizzo.
No, he explained everything well.
Mrs. Andrews.
Okay.
How long did you have it on the market?
542 days.
How many people came and looked at it?
Approximately 10, 8 to 10 groups total.
And they didn't want it because of?
So one of the reasons was the overall layout. One of the particular people that I did the showing for was that they didn't want the full bath. It was not necessary for them to have the full bath. So a lot of it wasn't being able to be utilized as office space. So it wasn't really fit for their, business plan. That was the most common feedback, the overall layout.
It's hard to find a fit for the space.
Correct, yeah.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our last witness is our planner, Colleen McGurk. Yep. The best for last. No, just kidding.
Good evening.
We'd have to have Colleen sworn and qualified.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Can you state your name and spell your last?
Colleen McGurk, McGurk.
Good evening, Mr. McGurk. If you could just briefly go over your professional qualifications and confirm that your planning license is active. Thank you.
Yes, I am a member of AICP, and my planner's license is current. My company is Swick, Stahl, and McGurk, which was started in 2019. I have since appeared before multiple boards throughout New Jersey, including this board.
Yes, we recognize Ms. McGurk and her expertise, and we accept her.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. McGurk, if you would, I know you've had an opportunity to review the application and the site And if you would give us an overview of your planning justification, particularly with regard to the D1 use variance and the criteria that must be satisfied under the municipal land use law. And also, I know you've reviewed the current zoning and the master plan, so I will turn the microphone over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. So the subject property is located at 3384 Route 9, Block 15,000, Lot 2. The lot is 8,708 square feet and is developed with a 14,064 square foot, two-story office building and a paved parking lot containing 10 parking stalls. It is located within the OG1 Office General Zoning District. The property was previously zoned R6 and is surrounded by the R6 zone. In 1995, a previous owner sought a use variance to convert the residential dwelling to office use, and the variance was granted. The zone was changed from R6 to OG1 sometime between 2005 and 2013. The applicant is proposing to convert the existing second floor vacant office space back to residential, specifically a one-bedroom unit, and to retain the first floor medical space. The second floor has been vacant, as we know, since 2022, and the owner has been unable to find a tenant since. Residential is in demand and much needed in this area and the region, especially affordable and different types of residential other than single-family dwellings, which is the dominant type of residence in Old Bridge. The property is surrounded by Deep Run, a residential townhouse development to the north, west, and south, which is in the R6 zone. Further to the north is the Deep Run Strip Mall, and beyond that at Cindy Street is a large residential neighborhood with dozens of single-family dwellings, which back up to Route 9. Across Route 9 to the east are a variety of office buildings, a funeral home, and a commuter parking lot. In order to grant a D1 use variance, it must be shown that such variance can be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and will not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance. There are sufficient special reasons for granting of a use variance under two broad circumstances: when the refusal to allow the project would impose on the applicant an undue hardship, when a proposed project carries out a purpose of zoning. This application advances several purposes of the municipal land use law. Purpose A, to encourage municipal action to guide the appropriate use or development of all lands in the state in a manner which will promote public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. To repurpose a portion of the existing building for a residential apartment, a use that it was originally zoned and used for and is surrounded by, is appropriate and will benefit the general welfare by providing additional housing and ensuring that the property is well-maintained and the structure is fully occupied. Purpose E, to promote the establishment of appropriate population densities and concentrations that will contribute to the well-being of the neighborhoods, community, and regions, and preservation of the environment. This is a one-bedroom apartment surrounded by the R6 zone, which requires 6,500 square feet for a single-family dwelling, and our lot has 8,708. So it is a similar size to the surrounding area, and the proposed size is more than sufficient. Whereas the minimum required lot size in the OG1 zone is 1 acre. Purpose G, to provide sufficient space in appropriate locations for a variety of agricultural, residential, recreational, commercial, and industrial uses in open space, both public and private, according to their respective environmental requirements, in order to meet the needs of all New Jersey citizens. The applicant is proposing to convert the existing second-story office back to a residential use. The existing office has been vacant, and the owner has been unable to rent the space, so the existing building is underutilized. The residential apartment will have little to no negative impact on the surrounding residential and commercial neighborhood. The existing surrounding uses will be able to function as intended in their respective zones. According to Medici versus BPR Company, quote, "The first prong of the negative criteria requires that the variance can be granted without substantial detriment to the public good. In this respect, the statutory focus is on the variance's effect on the surrounding properties. The Board of Adjustment must evaluate the impact of the proposed use variance upon the adjacent properties and determine whether or not it will cause such damage to the character of the neighborhood as to constitute substantial detriment to the public good. It is my professional opinion that there will be no negative impact on the character of the neighborhood or the adjacent residential uses and nearby commercial uses. The second prong that must be proven is that the proposed use does not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance. The 2022 master plan states, quote, "With changing market trends and development needs, the structure of the current general office zones shall be evaluated for alternative non-residential uses. The OG zones were once where small, moderate, and large office plexes were to be developed due to the ease of access to highways and commuter access points. Few of the zones, however, were ever developed with office use. While this does not completely align with what we are proposing, a mixed use with residential, it clearly indicates that there is a significant reduction in the demand for office space, which supports our application and the applicant's inability to fill the second floor space with a tenant, resulting in the underutilization of the property. The property was originally designed for residential, and we are requesting that it be permitted to go back to that use. There is adequate parking, landscaping, and lighting. As shown, there is a significant amount of residential on Route 9. It just does not front on Route 9. The rear of the single-family dwellings on Frederick Drive back up to Route 9, as does a portion of Deep Run, which borders this property. Also, the 2020 Master Plan re-exam states that the majority of Old Bridge housing stock is single-family dwellings, 71.2%. This indicates a lack of diversity in housing options, which this unit can provide. It also supports the principles of smart growth by providing residential unit within a walkable community with available goods, services, public transportation, and is therefore aligned with the State Development Redevelopment Plan. Also, one of the stated goals of the 2011 Master Plan land use element, quote, "to provide a diverse supply of desirable housing stock that meets the needs of households of various age groups, income levels, sizes, and compositions." And the 2020 Master Plan redevelopment states, quote, "presents an opportunity to advance state plan goals of providing adequate housing at a reasonable cost, specifically affordable housing, veterans housing, or housing for victims of storm damage," unquote. While we are not proposing affordable housing, we are proposing a different type of housing which is more affordable than other types of housing, such as single-family dwellings or townhomes. The granting of this use variance would not be contrary to sound zoning principles or planning. It is in fact better planning to permit the residential use, since this lot is severely undersized for the OG1 zone, which requires a minimum of 1 acre, so a less intense use is more appropriate. It is my professional opinion that this use fits in with the surrounding community and the benefits outweigh any detriments. The proposed residential apartment promotes the purposes of the MLUL, occurs on a site that is particularly suited for the use, accrues no significant detriment to the public good, and does not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance.
Thank you, Ms. McGurk, for that comprehensive and well-reasoned outline. Do you have anything else to add, or have you?
I don't know if
covered it
you
all?
wanted me to still address any of the pre-existing non-conforming variances. I mean, there was a use variance granted. I don't know if any of them were subsumed under that plan, but they are pre-existing and they really can't be altered. Lot area, width, front yard setback, et cetera.
And we're not exacerbating them, correct?
We are not.
Okay, fair enough. Mr. Juan, I don't know if you would want us to provide more detail
No,
testimony.
no, because the existing non-conformities have been there forever, and plus you're asking for a use variance, so any of the bulks are assumed. So I would need no more additional testimony. I'm good. I don't have any questions either.
Thank you.
The design waivers would be subsumed too as well?
You have to grant, yes, but they will be subsumed too.
Yeah.
Oh, you have anything else for the planner? No? Mr. Dargy?
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Thank you. A number of times you said go back to residential. When was it?
It was zoned R6.
When it was zoned R6, back, well, in 1995, when they got the use
95?
variance, it had been a residential use, plus it was zoned R6.
I see.
Up until, I couldn't quite pinpoint, but maybe
Exactly.
2006.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Rizzo?
No, I'm good.
Mrs. Andrews? I'm good. And obviously, when you said go back to residential use, you didn't mean the entire property. You
No,
meant
just the second floor.
You meant just the second floor.
Yes, correct.
Okay, just to make that clear. Any further witnesses?
No, Mr. Chairman, I presume you'll open it up to the public, but I don't have any further witnesses.
Okay. We have 6 seated members.
Correct.
I'm going to open this matter up to the public. This is 55-2025Z, physical location here is 3384 Highway 9 for a second floor residential apartment. There's no new construction, it would be same footprint and different use on the second floor. Anyone here want to be heard? Please raise your hand or stand. I think we just have a room of other applicants and professionals, so I don't think anybody's going to weigh in on this. I'm going to close the public portion. Final comments?
Mr. Chairman, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to present the application. I also want to thank your planner, Venus Sawant. She was very helpful in crystallizing the issues in her memorandum, and we tried to address all those. This is a pretty unusual situation where you had a prior approval back in 1995 to convert then to office use. But as Ms. Sawant said, the world has changed since then. 1995, I don't think people were working remotely from their homes via computer. At least I wasn't. And I think the applicant did address the technical issues and support for the variance, particularly on site suitability. You heard from our real estate salesperson and the applicant that we've made great efforts to try and lease this property. And we think the site is particularly suited for the upstairs unit to go back to residential use. And we think that overall it's a public benefit to the community in Old Bridge because it's really a studio apartment. And quite frankly, there's probably a need for individuals, whether it be, as the applicant indicated, those who may be in transition in the medical field, or it doesn't have to be limited to that. She was just citing that as an example of a sector of the population who might benefit from renting this studio. So with that said, I would ask that the board favorably consider this application. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Himmerman. I'm just going to ask the board if there's any final comments or questions that they would like to make, and I'll start on my
No.
None coming up?
Nothing.
None. Counselor, anything?
Nothing for me.
Yeah, this is an odd situation because there's spots along Route 9, not only in Old Bridge, but another where these little homes were. And that's what was there. I don't remember when, Deepwater was built up over there? Debrun, I'm sorry.
I think that's
80s?
I think it may be the late 70s.
Was it? Okay. And I'm assuming whoever the owner of the property was then probably got tired of living there and wanted to change it over to where they could benefit by still holding the real estate. So I don't find it that unusual. There's residences right in their backyard. So I don't find that uncommon. It does present a nice little parcel, I guess, for a single person and or perhaps a couple for usage for probably a year or two or something. They may move on and someone else would be. I respect the real estate agent's testimony. I think he was forthright, and I don't really think there is those opportunities for small offices anymore.
I agree.
So I would stand behind the application, and we'll see how the vote goes if that's what you want.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
This will be for D1, so it's going to be for major preliminary final site plan with the C&D variance, all in one, right? One vote. Okay, everybody understand? Someone interested in moving this in favor of the D1 and all the others?
Izzo.
Is there a second?
Andrews.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scoggs?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yeah, I'd rather see it used than not used, so my vote is yes.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you so much for your consideration, and we hope to move forward and get once we deal with resolution compliance, we will then hopefully be successful in our efforts. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you and your professionals. I know you're going to have another one. I think in fairness, could we take a 5-minute break?
I was going to suggest that.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Himlin. We stand in recess 5 minutes. All right, we return from recess. I'd ask for a roll call, please.
That's probably wouldn't let me.
Here?
Ms. Andrews?
Present?
Ms. Gomez?
Here.
Mr. Izzo?
Here.
Mr. Scogno?
Here.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Here. Counselor, let me read the last one in for tonight.
Mr. Chairman, good evening. Again.
23 dash,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
23-2025Z, BJ's Wholesale Club. This is CR Regional Commercial Shopping. It's block 4185, lot 2.11, physical location 1007 US Highway 9. They're seeking major preliminary and final site plan with C&D variance. The applicant proposes the addition of external fuel dispensers for automobiles with a kiosk, lighted canopies, and a reconfigured parking and driving aisles, in addition to the installation of a new pylon sign. David Himmelman representing.
Mr. Chairman, David Himmelman for the applicant. Good evening again. As you indicated, Mr. Chairman, I'm here on behalf of BJ's Wholesale Club, and we're here on for preliminary major final site plan and D-use variance and several bulk variance approvals, and you identified the property at 100 US Highway Route 9, of course, here in Old Bridge. For the record, the property is located in the Regional Commercial Shopping Center District, which permits conditional use of gas stations. The site is currently improved with a BJ's Wholesale Club, which, as you know, is a permitted use. The applicant is proposing to add 6 automobile fuel dispensers with a kiosk. There will be a 12 drive lanes covered by the canopy. A portion of the parking lot will be reconfigured to accommodate fuel dispensers and provide safe and on-site vehicle circulation. The D variances relate to the conditional D variance as set forth in section 250-41G of your ordinance, and since we can't satisfy one or more of those conditions, it triggers the D3 conditional use variance, and we also seek a D4 use variance for floor area ratio. There are numerous bulk C variance relief, which, Mr. Chairman, I'm not going to go through all of those because that'll be testified by our engineer and planner. Just for the record, the applicant had 2 TRC meetings with the staff and your board engineer from Environmental Resolutions and his team, and we've worked through extensive issues, and we've had 2 review memos from ERI, so we're hopeful, Mr. Chairman, to be able to get through the testimony based on the fact that this has had extensive review. We have several witnesses here tonight. We have engineering, traffic, and planning. So with that, I would ask, unless you or your board members or your professionals have any questions, we can proceed with our first witness.
Please do.
Okay. Richard? Oh, we'd have to have our engineer, Richard Bannick, sworn and qualified.
Can you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. State your name and spell your last.
Richard Procanik, P as in Peter, Rocanik.
Good evening, Mr. Procanik. Can you just give a brief description of your professional qualifications and confirm that your license is active so we can have you qualified as a civil engineer?
Sure. I have a Bachelor's of Science from NJIT, 20 years of relevant design experience. I've testified in front of many boards similar to yours approximately 125 times. My license is valid and in good standing. I've appeared in front of the planning board in town twice.
We'll accept his credentials and expertise.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you would briefly, before we get into your testimony, are there any exhibits that you're going to refer to that have not been submitted as part of the application?
Yes, we have 4 to present this evening.
Okay, and they were already provided to Maureen,
I have
so we
them.
have those. Okay, very good.
Just let me know which ones you want me to.
Yeah, as
Put
we
up.
testified to, yes.
It's the overall site render will be the first one I'll use.
Very good. So Richard, if you would take us through the overall site plan, discussing the
You mark
various
them as you go through.
components of the application as it
them?
relates to the site layout, and then we can go through, obviously, the review memorandums and testimony that may be required. So I will turn the microphone over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you. I would like to first refer to our overall site plan render. It has today's date, July 16th, 2026, and it's prepared by my office, Pannoni and Associates.
That's just a colored version of the site plan, correct?
Yes, it's a colorized version of the surface features overlaid on an aerial. Aerial is the only thing that wasn't previously provided to the board in the submission package. What you see in terms of proposed is a compilation of information throughout the plan set. A1?
A1, yes.
I'd like to just first start explaining the general site to the board. It's 1007 US Highway 9, Township of Old Bridge, Block 4185, Lot 2.11. It's approximately 9 acres and located within the Regional Commercial CR District. It fronts along Route 9 to its west, Downing Street, a municipal road to the south, and it's bisected by Maletta Way, a private roadway. The surrounding area is generally consistent with a similar type of commercial uses. To the east is the BJ's Wholesale. To the west is Route 9. Opposite of Route 9 is Old Bridge Gateway and Old Bridge Square Shopping Centers. To the north, Extra Space Self-Storage. And then to the south, Amboy Bank, and beyond that, the Old Bridge Shopping Plaza. Currently on the site exists one BJ's Wholesale Club and is approximately 100,000 square feet. The site is accessed from Downing Street, and then you turn left or right, depending which way you're coming from, into Maletta Way. What I would like to just point out to the board is the existing Maletta Way, as it traverses through our site, both to the north and the south, will remain untouched and continue to operate as it does today. The space directly to the left or to the west is uniquely situated for somewhat of an out parcel type of development. And it complements the existing building, and at no point do we anticipate any potential conflicts between the fueling station tenants and the customers to the BJ's. The fueling station itself has 6 locations, 6 pumps. There's dispensers on each side of the pump, and 3 underground storage tanks. The accessory use to the building is located within the front yard of the BJ's, which is a variance. In terms of operations, the hours Monday through Saturday, 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m., and then on Sundays, 6:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. So on Sundays, we'll be closing a little bit early. There are 3 employees that work at the fueling station. In terms of the solid waste, we don't expect anything more than a typical trash can inside, and then that trash will be brought back into the store nightly as the shifts end. The canopy itself has a proposed height of 17, where for accessory structures, 15 is permitted. This will be a variance. The 14-foot height clearance under the canopy exceeds the 13.5 AASHTO design vehicle height for tractor trailers, which is the largest maximum vehicle height. So at no point would we ever expect to have a truck hit the canopy. There is a dedicated delivery area for the tanks with the product. So when deliveries do occur, it will be outside of the typical traffic patterns. All stalls will be 10 feet by 18, and 2 ADA spaces are provided specifically for the use of the fueling station. We are requesting a variance for parking. We have a deficit of 310 spaces. The site as it exists today is already underparked, where 670 are required, 440 are proposed. And then with the proposed development, we are required to provide an additional 3 spaces for the employees per ordinance. And we're losing we have a total net loss of 80 spaces. Although the ordinance is not met, our traffic engineer will speak to that variance in a bit more detail, relying on the ITE parking generation manual, which has become an industry standard. The plans do not depict any EV parking or charging stations. We will meet the state standards, but would ask for relief when it comes to the municipal ordinance. In terms of general pedestrian connectivity, there are crosswalks from the fueling station across Milletta Way, and then anyone who needed to access the BJ's Wholesale from the fueling station or that side of the parking lot would just traverse the parking lot as any other customer. In terms of the generalized landscaping, there are certain deficits in terms of trees and plantings. We will revise the landscaping plan and be compliant through the addition of a couple extra trees and shrubs as outlined by the board engineer's review letter. In terms of the irrigation for landscaping, we are not proposing any irrigation. However, we do believe an alternative solution can be provided that would ensure the growth of the trees. The materials being planted are either native or naturalized, meaning they are tolerant to this climate. We will install water bags until they take root, and then we are willing to bond those trees as part of the maintenance bonds for 2 years. So in short, if something happens in those 2 years, the developer will be obligated to replace those trees under that bond. In terms of site lighting, we are proposing 9 fixtures, 25 feet in height. The height is compliant. We do request 1 waiver in terms of the light pole spacing. It's per the ordinance in which it requires us to provide 1 pole for 4 times the height of the light pole. So we have a 25-foot light mounting height. So the ordinance requirement would be a spacing of the light poles every 100 feet. We're not able to accomplish that because of the underground storage tanks for the product. But if you take a closer look at the photometrics we provided, we do provide adequate lighting in that area. So we do not necessarily meet the spacing, but I think we do meet the overall intent to provide enough lighting for safety. One other thing we should note is that when we were preparing the photometrics, we did not take into account any of the existing lighting on site. So the photometrics can be a bit deceiving when certain foot candle levels drop to 0.2, 0.3 within Milletta and the surrounding parking lot areas. In the real scenario, the existing lights would be on and would provide at least the same minimum lighting levels as they do today. In terms of stormwater management, we are reducing the impervious coverage by approximately 920 square feet. The drainage patterns are maintained. There's no increase in runoff, nor is there an increase in the peak flows for the stormwater. We will work with your engineer's office to demonstrate that at no point in time the existing hydrograph exceeds the proposed hydrograph, which is one of the methods to accomplish the quantity element of the stormwater management regulations. Briefly, in terms of utilities, we are proposing a new water service from Route 9 right away, JCP&L electric service from Route 9 right of way. The telephone and communications will come from the building. And then we do provide a bathroom within the small building under the canopy, and that sanitary will be directed back to the BJ's wholesale store. Because of the elevations, a small lift station will be needed, and that is shown on the plans as well. I would now like to move over to a different exhibit. This was previously provided to the board as part of our initial submission package. It is just the elevations of the canopies. Would you like me to mark this?
Just mark it as A2 since you're
A2?
and you said it's the elevations.
Yeah, it was part of the original package. It's entitled Retail Gas Station Concept Elevation, drawing name number exhibit, dated April 23rd, 2026. We are seeking a variance for some signage. On our canopy, we're proposing a BJ's Gas and the digital price screen on two sides, on the two long sides, and then a small BJ's Gas identifier on one of the short ends. The reason we're proposing 3 where 2 is typically allowed because we're on a corner is because we want visibility from both sides of Route 9 and the parking lot. The current application doesn't provide any wayfinding signage. There is ordinance requirements. Any future wayfinding signage will be compliant with the municipal ordinance. I would like to introduce a third exhibit. It is entitled Fire Apparatus Maneuverability, dated today, July 16th, 2026, as prepared by my office. The board has not yet seen this. On our initial submission, we provided an apparatus maneuverability, but it was with the wrong fire engine. It was not the township's largest, so did want to provide the board with the benefit of seeing that the Old Bridge's largest apparatus can safely maneuver the site. We did get this vehicle sizing and specifications from the fire official, and just wanted to demonstrate that we are able to fully maneuver the site without any conflicts to the curbs, and can easily get in and out onto the exiting roadway, Downing Street.
And the fire official has reviewed this?
He has not yet reviewed this. Yes, so the intent would be to take this plan and we would just slide it into the resubmission package as a replacement to our previous maneuverability study.
We'll comply with whatever recommendations he has, correct?
Yes.
Do we need to mark this?
Oh, I'm sorry. A3.
I have it as A3 if you could just write it.
Sorry.
Thank you.
The fire official did provide 4 comments, and I do just want to run through those really quickly. Safety is very important. We did revise the plans for the appropriate apparatus. We do provide the minimum 20-foot drive aisle for the apparatus that allows the fire truck to put the riggers down and for the emergency service team to safely operate around the vehicle. It's a state requirement. And no revisions were needed for that. We just further detailed it out to demonstrate compliance. The fire official had several recommendations for pavement markings, which we will comply with, and also for a new hydrant to be located closer to the store, which we'll locate in that northeast corner most likely, but we will satisfy the fire official's requirements for a hydrant. Just briefly, in terms of outside agencies, Middlesex County Planning Board, we have approval. Soil Conservation District, we have approval. The NJDOT, we have a letter of no interest or a LONI. The MUA has reviewed the plans, but they're not ready to take action formally until the board does. And we will make our resubmission to the fire official addressing all of his comments, in addition to making a submission back to the township addressing any and all other comments in the review letter that your board engineer prepared for us, plus any conditions you may impose.
Mr. George?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our office has prepared, actually, we have a joint memo with the Vina's office and our office. We've had multiple tax meetings with the applicant, and the memo before you tonight, dated July 7th, is a pretty lengthy memo. It's 19 pages, but it's really more like a record of our review. Most of the comments in our memo have been satisfied by the applicant through the revised plans and the multiple meetings we've had. With regard to the irrigation that was left as an outstanding comment in our memo, I have had a chance to discuss, yet again with the applicant's engineer. We don't have an objection to them not providing the irrigation with the stipulation that the applicant will be revising their landscaping to be more drought-tolerant plantings, and also providing watering bags and bonding the plantings, which is something that they're not required to do anymore based off of the new bonding laws, but they've agreed to bond them, so we'll make sure that happens. So I don't have an objection to that. And with regard to the stormwater, the applicant does comply with, based on the fact that they actually have a slight reduction in impervious coverage. They'll provide the supporting calculations. I'm confident that won't be a problem either. Many of the comments, like I said, in our memo have been satisfied. I don't have any specific questions for the applicant's engineer, but I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sawant?
I don't have any questions for the engineer.
Okay, let me go up the aisle here and see what comes up. Start on my left.
I only have one question. The propane tanks that are in the front of the store, that's going to remain where it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Ms. Benelli?
Yeah, I do have a question, but I don't know if I need to wait or if you can answer.
You can ask it, and I'll let you know
Or
if I can answer it.
Can answer. With respect to Amboy Bank, I know the parking lot. So how is the flow going to be to get through, I guess, the gas pumps? For instance, for lack of a better analogy, I know the gas pumps at Costco back up to Route 9 because of where they're located. So I'm just curious where you're actually entering the gas pumps and where the backup line is going to be. How is that going to affect the bank or that entrance? Because when you come in, right as you come in, maybe a car or a car and a half in, you're making a left into like where the bank is. And then the next entrance into, I guess, which would be the overflow parking lot for BJ's is a little further in, so.
Yeah, I can start to address some of that, and our traffic engineer will get more into the technical data. But as a vehicle enters into the fueling station area, they would be turning towards Route 9 or to the left or west above to the north of the bank. So they would come in past the bank. There's an exit for the fueling station. They'd pass the exit, and then they would turn left into
So like the
fueling
next
station.
entrance into that auxiliary parking lot, if you will.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then we have a dedicated one-way traffic as a vehicle leaves the fueling station. So the vehicles have to come in a certain way. It's not the entry from both sides. They have to come in from the north side.
Okay.
And then there is a dedicated right turn and a dedicated left turn to exit the fueling area. So this is what we would anticipate how the fueling station would operate under a normal condition. We did look at more of a peak hour, or if it does get backed up a little bit, and our traffic engineer has an exhibit that depicts that queuing and what it would look like. So he'll touch into that a little bit more.
Okay.
Mr. Scott?
I'll wait for the traffic engineer. Thank you.
Ms. Rizzo?
Satisfied?
Mrs. Andrews?
Waiting for the traffic engineer.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Will you be changing the inlets and outlets of those, the ingress and egress of the two that are available now? You're going to block, you're going to be able to get into the bank, but it's not going to allow you to get into the area for the
I don't see a realistic scenario in which the bank would be blocked. The queuing would go towards the north, towards the self-storage.
I've been to your places before, and they are dedicated. You can only come in one way and go out one
Exactly.
way. It's a similar situation?
One-way traffic in, one-way
Okay,
traffic
and
out.
I'm sure the traffic engineer will speak to that. Okay, thank you. Counselor, do you have anything? No.
We good, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Public, we have to open it to the public.
Oh, you want to have the public question this?
No,
Okay.
at the end.
All right. Traffic engineer, who everyone wants to hear from, will be next. John.
Star witness.
As long as he's not going to run out the door.
Not going to run out the door.
Okay.
Can't even run right now.
What's that?
Can't even run right now.
Yeah, you can't, oh.
Yes, the duck to drive it.
That's not good. We will have to have our traffic engineer, John Corrick, qualified and sworn in.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Can you state your name and spell your last?
John Korak, last name is spelled Corak.
Thank you, Mr. Corrick. Can you briefly describe your professional qualifications and also confirm that your license is in good standing in the state of New Jersey so we can qualify you? Thank you.
Of course, so I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of New Jersey. I have a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from the College of New Jersey. I'm an expert in the field of traffic and transportation engineering. I've prepared over 250 traffic studies for land development applications. I've testified before over 100 boards in the state.
You have a current license in the state of New Jersey.
I do.
We'll accept his expertise.
And you're with Stonefield, right?
Yes, with Stonefield Engineering.
Right. Okay. So I understand you've prepared a traffic and parking study, which has been submitted as part of the application, and I know you've had an opportunity to discuss many of the comments that ERI had set forth in their review memorandums. So I doubt there'll be any questions for you. No, okay. So if you could briefly go through your findings of your traffic study and also address basically the highlights from the ERI memo, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So the way that I'd like to break up the testimony, it's kind of into two pieces. One is related to actual traffic impacts, levels of service at nearby intersections. And then the other, of course, is the on-site circulation, queuing, and the impact on the parking supply that the proposed fueling station has. So the first part is sort of the meat of the traffic study. It includes the traffic counts that we conducted. Those are both at Milletta Way and Downing Street, as well as Downing Street and Route 9 North. Those counts conducted during the typical peak periods, a weekday from 7 to 9 a.m., from 4 to 7 p.m., and then on a Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. That tends to capture the, both the roadway peaks and the peak periods of BJ's, the fueling station, the general shopping center, campus, if you will, that we're a part of. We grow that traffic volume to future year. There was a question in the ERI letter about our count dates are a couple years old now, the data, but our growth that we've applied to it has outpaced the DOT's growth that they've been counting and observing. So by any measure, the count data plus the growth is a conservative measure within our study. And we collect and analyze levels of service at those study sites that we were just talking about. So say the first one is the traffic signal at Milletta and Downing. So that is call it a three-phase traffic signal. If you're on Milletta headed northbound, so toward BJ's, you do get that lead left arrow that gets you toward Route 9. And then the southbound traffic, once that lead left arrow is completed, the southbound traffic gets to proceed through. And then, of course, you have your east-west Downing Street traffic as well. That intersection operates fairly well, all within acceptable levels of service. What we're seeing typically is a level of service B, as in boy, for that intersection during the peak periods. Level of service being graded A through F, where we actually don't target A's necessarily. A good design level of service is generally a C or a D, because we're not trying to overbuild the system. That's essentially providing too many lanes has other negative effects, stormwater runoff and the like, where we look for C to D. Here we're generally operating at level of service B at that traffic signal. And then getting onto Route 9 North, what we're observing from our calculations in level of service C to D range for those driveways. And actually DOT allows driveways up to level service E, as in elephant, for approaches to the state highway. We then add the traffic associated with BJ's fueling station onto the roadway network, route it through these intersections, again, conduct a level of service analysis. They generally remain consistent. Any specific movement, your delay increase is less than 5 seconds on average. We get a couple movements that go from B to C or C to D, just as a result of crossing a threshold from where we call one level of service or another, but certainly nothing in the range of failing condition. We comply with the ordinance requirements for less than 10% traffic increase, keeping it under 0.8 volume to capacity, as well as no level of service Fs. So by and large, from a call it that outside traffic perspective, these intersections will continue to operate really functionally as they do today, with the inclusion of the fueling station component on the site. So that's the first part of the traffic study. Now getting into the actual site layout, how the traffic flows through here. And I think that the location of this, this fueling canopy and the structure itself is ideally suited to maintain positive traffic flows, through this area. So looking at the overall site, right, Milletta Way cutting directly through the middle of it, and really anything on the west is, it's not technically out parcel, but it's very well suited for that out parcel type development. You rarely have cars parking in that area. There's no cart corrals in that area. You're more likely to see driver's ed classes going on in that parking area than actual traffic and parking concerns. So while most of the BJ's traffic stays on the right side, of the east side of Milletta Way, that provides us the opportunity to properly route and queue up the vehicles who want to get gas at the fueling station. So that traffic coming from Milletta Way needs to go north of the station, either make the left or right turn, toward the west, headed toward Route 9, and then wrap down around the south and enter the station facing south to fuel their vehicle, at which point when they come out of the fueling station, they make a left turn to head back to Milletta Way, and then they can go north or south on Milletta Way from there. Within just that rectangular area, that box, which I would consider to be like the main queuing area on the site, we can get the 12 vehicles at the pumps themselves, a stack back of 2 more rows of cars, so that's 36 vehicles, and then also be able to continue to have the cars start to flow into those, that line of 3 as it can wrap around the west side of the site. So just within that fueling area, if you will, we're looking at 40 plus vehicles being able to physically fit there. And then as you continue to wrap around, the outside drive aisles of the site, and you could accommodate up to 60 vehicles in a queue without hindering the flow on Milletta Way. So this is a lot larger queue than really we would expect from a BJ's gas station. But I will mention that if there was a scenario, we've seen it when every few years hurricane comes in, everyone wants to get their gas. If there's a scenario where we really need to increase the queuing area, the way that the drive aisles are aligned in that western section can actually create somewhat of a snake with the queuing area and increase that queue to 75, 80, possibly 100 vehicles through a double lane stack. So a lot of room here in an area that is not very well utilized, and a lot of room to accommodate queue without impacting any of the other uses in this area, whether it's the bank, just Milletta Way in general, the actual BJ's store. So really a nicely located fueling station that has really good circulation for a worst case scenario that we certainly don't anticipate seeing on a daily, weekly, or even monthly basis.
Do you want to refer to the queuing exhibit, or?
Yeah, we can put up the queuing exhibit. It doesn't show the doomsday, but we can certainly show that.
That's the queuing exhibit?
Yeah, queuing exhibit.
That was the last one I sent you, Maureen.
Is that part of your submission?
I can stand for this.
You want to point it?
Sure. Yeah, right.
Was this part of your submissions?
This was an exhibit that was not, so we'll mark this A4, right?
So just on the exhibit A4, so that rectangular box area with call it the 3-car deep stack for each pump is in this area. And then you start to have your drive aisle where the queuing begins, and then around the western side. In a very, very, very heavy scenario, what you could do, working back from the fueling pumps, is utilize all these drive aisles in a snake pattern. So basically creating an S, and we saw it, say, at Chick-fil-A during pandemic when no one could go inside, and they're basically using the entirety of the parking lot. Not something I expect to happen, but we've seen with really natural disaster type events, hurricanes coming in, we want to be able to make sure that we can accommodate everyone without spilling into the other roadways, and certainly not to Route 9.
Great. Do you want to add anything else, or?
Yeah, just the last piece on the parking, since we do have a variance toward the parking. The site currently operates with a variance where the 670 are required. There's 440 today, and we're coming down to 360 parking spaces. Ultimately, this is a site that in this area certainly doesn't generate that parking demand on that western side. The elimination of about 80 spaces in that area has no material effect on what the patrons of BJ's are doing. And I don't like to pick at ordinances, but it's a very strict parking requirement, especially for this use, where it's one space per 150 square feet, where within the parking generation manual from ITE, what they would forecast for a discount club is one vehicle per every 350 square feet. So it's over twice as much parking as 85th percentile ITE peak demand. So it's no surprise that we see this portion of the lot empty, even with the current deficit in parking, and taking away those 80 or so spaces does not have a material impact on the BJ's store operation.
And you've spoken with ERI about this, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Did you want to add anything else, or do you think you've covered everything?
I think I've covered everything. If there's any specifics in the review letter, through a resubmission, happy to do so. We've worked with ERI's office on a number of projects recently and gotten to know them very well. So
We're going to find out if there's anything else.
We are.
Mr. Darcy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Similar to what, the engineer's testimony, we've had multiple meetings and conversations about this application with the applicant's traffic engineer. A majority, or I'd say a large portion of our discussions focused really on the traffic aspects and really particularly the operations and queuing. And we've been able to arrive at what you see this evening as sort of a joint effort between our office, Vina's office, and the applicant. With regards to the parking, and so by that I mean that we're satisfied with what the applicant's proposing with regard to the operational aspects of the gas station. With regard to the parking, I would tend to agree with the applicant's testimony that our ordinance, and I was just talking to Vina about possibly making some updates to our ordinance with regard to things like the parking, because one for every 150 square feet is a little bit excessive for retail in general, really, but especially when you talk about big box retail, and we've all been in these these shopping clubs where really the actual product takes up a good portion of the space, and then you really don't get that many people coming in all at once. And that's evidenced by the fact that when you look at the aerial, you'll see that majority of this western parking lot is empty, and it's empty all the time, because I think the ITE probably is a better meter for what kind of parking demand there is here. One for every 300 or 350 is realistic for a wholesale club, as opposed to the one for 150. So I would tend to agree with the applicant's assertion that the parking functions well, even with the variance, which seems kind of like an extensive variance, but in actuality, it's probably more accurate. I don't have any other questions actually for the applicant's traffic engineer, but I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
I know we're going to have a planner come up, but this would be the end of the engineering aspect of the application. And my question to you would be, is everything that you've already encountered and are about to encounter doable from your aspect?
It is. We have revised plans, and I think the few revisions or outstanding comments that we have in our memo can be addressed without any appreciable changes to what the board is seeing tonight.
And Mr. Hillman, you would agree that there's going to be a cooperation, should there be an approval, that any of these little matters are going to be handled?
Absolutely, and should the board act favorably, there'll be resolution compliance items, and I'm confident with Vina's office and
I know we're a little off from that, but just from an engineering standpoint,
Yeah,
I wanted
from
to
an
hear.
engineering
And I know there's going to be some questions. I know Ms. Spinelli would like to hear about the route through, and I would too. But let me go to Ms. Sawant. Nothing. I'll start down with Ms. Gomez.
I have a question. These tankers that are kind of come in and unload, if they're going to be a special area where they can line up and fuel, unload. So that way, when you're coming in on Melita Way northbound, you only have one way in and you have all these cars there. I just want to make sure that there's going to be enough safe passage that someone don't get crushed.
I think John can address that.
Yeah, of course. So go over back to the exhibit.
You're referring to the queuing exhibit?
Yeah. So the queuing exhibit A4. So
Maybe you want to point up on the,
I want to do it. Does it
let's
work up
do it.
here? Okay. So in the queuing exhibit A4, so to the north of the queuing area are these 3 underground tanks, which are curbed off and actually accessed on the north side, which is that striped area here. And so that fuel tanker coming, into the site to drop fuel, to unload the fuel, does not need to circulate through the queuing area, does not need to go through the tank, through the canopy by any means. It is essentially parked in the striped area and then unloads the fuel to the underground tank.
Anything else, Ms. Gomez?
No, thank you.
Ms. Spinelli?
No, I'm good.
Mr. Scott, no.
Oh, thank you very much. So that's a one-lane exit onto Maletta and Downing, is that correct?
So there's a left turn lane and a right turn
Oh,
lane.
the lane out is only one lane. It's one lane in and one lane out.
Correct, in terms of directional
Okay,
flow.
so
yeah.
we're utilizing, the bank is utilizing that?
No.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess Maletta Way is one way each direction. Is that part of what you're talking about?
To get into BJ's, you have one way in. Off of Downing, Maletta.
Then Maletta, yes.
Okay, and one way out.
Yes.
Okay. The bank uses that one way out.
Correct. That's this.
Correct.
That's this
Then
driveway
the storage
down here.
units that we have in the back, they use that one lane also.
Correct.
And BJ's uses that one lane also.
Correct.
And now the gas station will be using that one lane also.
Yes.
And there's a light there.
Yes.
And as the cars are coming out of the gas station and the people coming out of BJ's, they're going to be just line up all the way back. The storage thing, I hardly ever see any action from there.
Right.
And when was your traffic study done?
So the counts were conducted in August 2024.
A weekday, weekend?
So a weekday from 7 to 9 a.m. and from 4 to 7 p.m. and then on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yes, and we have a number of developments going on in that area, and I just think it's just going to be a total backup of traffic coming out of there.
No, I understand and appreciate that. The analysis that was conducted showed that the change in level of service resulting from this development as well as a handful of other developments coming through the area is minimal, right? I'm not saying that there is absolutely zero change, but it is well within accepted traffic engineering standards. And having this traffic be on Maletta Way, as opposed to trying to, say, get a new driveway onto Route 9, is a much better traffic engineering design solution to have those vehicles traversing on and off of the site, without really the high volume of Route 9 impacting it.
The other wholesale place, when they sell gas, they move rather quickly. And those cars are in and they're out and they're back on the road. But we only have one lane here. So, and then you have customers coming out of BJ's. Then the bank is going to be affected also. And then you have cars coming in. So now you have to, in order for the cars that are going to get gas, they have to make a left. But you're going to have cars leaving your gas station.
So, yeah, the vehicles that make the left toward the north end of the parking area.
Right.
Whereas the vehicles leaving are more toward the southern end. So there's no conflicts between those entering and exiting vehicles. But one of the things in discussing with ERI about the traffic in this area is they do want us to, once we're able to actually get into the traffic signal cabinet and look at the timing that's applied with that traffic light, run our analysis with the most optimized timing possible and come back out and implement those timing standards so we can, who knows how long it's been since they've updated those timings. Maybe there's a little bit of progression flow
I agree.
that we can achieve.
That light is long. You're sitting there a little while. Because we shop there, and a lot of times my wife is complaining the cold foods are getting warm. We got to get out of here. So, and plus now we're going to be behind traffic. Just something to consider.
Yeah, so that was one thing that in our conversations with the ERI's office to look what we can do to optimize that traffic light. It's, as analyzed, this is not going to have a significant impact, but we certainly like the opportunity to try to make it better.
Okay, no further questions.
Mr. Rizzo? Question about the traffic light and the timing. Who would have jurisdiction over that?
That's the township.
Right. So,
I don't think that's the township road.
It's a township traffic light.
Township road?
Yes.
Yeah, the light is the townships.
I'm satisfied.
Okay. Mrs. Andrews?
No, I was concerned, the same thing that Leon said with all of the new things that are going up there. The traffic study from 2024, I just feel is, I'm so sorry. I just feel a traffic study from 2024, considering everything that's starting to build up over there, is a little outdated. That's my personal opinion. I'm not an expert, but I just feel that there's going to be a Dunkin' Donuts, a Jimmy John's, and some other retail stores. That's my main concern. And also the fire report. Thank you.
Understood, and as part of our traffic study, we do build in these background growth rates to look to capture, that traffic volume growth, right? So it's not that we're just stacking the BJ's gas traffic on top of 2024 volume. We grow that 2024 volume to, cover the self-storage, cover the Dunkin', cover the Jimmy John's, and in general, development growth, in this area and in the region.
Mr. Korak, in totality, there'll be no more parking in there for customers from the store, right? You're going to be using that section of the lot.
And there are...
To the west of Melita. In other words, your dispensers, as we look at the diagram, to the north, there'll be no more overload parking.
There's still two...
So it still will be?
Yeah, there's still two full rows of, call it the overflow parking, as well as along the outside.
Okay.
They're not shown on this figure because they're existing to remain exactly as is.
Okay.
Yeah.
The gas is for members only, correct? Or is that open to the general public as well?
It's for members only. It used to be open to the public because everyone thought that was the law in New Jersey, and then that got challenged, and
Couple
now it's
years
members
ago.
only. Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make that clear.
I have nothing else, Mr. Himmelman.
Chairman, can I make a
Go ahead.
Because I'm hearing some of the comments that are coming up, and if you recall, when the Duncan came in for the application, I gave a brief presentation about this whole area being pursued as transit village. So one of the bases for me to even pursue transit village designation in this area was that there is a bus terminus right there, which has one of the highest riderships, right? And then if you look at the aerials, because I mean, I'm not a traffic expert, but I'm looking at near maps where they periodically take aerial imagery. Almost like 65 to 70% of the parking lot is empty within that entire area. So as part, and again, some of the sites within this area are part of our affordable housing plan, which is kind of getting finalized. It should be finalized before September 15th. But as one of the condition of getting the housing plan approval would be me pursuing transit village, which means I will be going in front of the planning board with an area investigation study, which is one of the requirements to get the transit village designation. But the basis of my study, and I already started it a few years ago because of the high ridership for the bus terminus. And in that, what I notice is there is a very high underutilization rate. So even if you don't have access to the near map imagery, which I have, even if you go during daytime, the parking lot is empty. Bringing in uses that help the residents in that area or in and around that area is only going to reduce that underutilization. You will see much more mixed use coming in that area once we are a designated transit village. Parking, like it was testified, our parking ordinance is a little off. But I think in this case, because it is transit-oriented, they have different standards. There are fewer parking requirements than a normal development would have. So I think we have to wait to see how things pan out. The concerns are logical, and I think the expert has testified on some of those. We have been brainstorming on the queuing part in the 2 technical review meetings that we had. So I just wanted to offer that background, that keep in mind that the vision for this area is much wider. So you might see more activity coming in that area because we want to take advantage of the bus terminus being there.
Thank you.
Yeah, the other question I had, I guess, for either you, Vina, or Rakesh, about the traffic study and the counts that were done in 2024. I mean, I think, Rakesh, your office has had discussions with our traffic engineer, and maybe you could just weigh in on that issue, perhaps.
Actually, Rakesh, before you chime in, can I say something? Sure. Only because the one thought that comes to my mind, and I'm trying to help the board understand, if you may. See, although we are reviewing this as a gas station, it is really an accessory use to the wholesale, the BGs that is there. So if I have to look at the technicality part of it, you evaluate parking and you evaluate the principal use, but the accessory use it goes with it. It's not like there is additional traffic coming to the gas station. People or patrons that are coming to the principal use are the ones that are filling up gas. There will be some people like me who make a trip to Costco just to fill up gas. But typically, when people go to these places, they are shopping in BJ's. Once they're done with their shopping, then they are going to fuel gas. They're not really entering. There will be a fewer percentage that actually enters the site just to go to the gas station. So one thing that you need to keep in mind is yes, when it is a principal use, you evaluate it much stringently for the traffic movement. But when it is an accessory use to the principal use, which is wholesale, then it has to be reviewed slightly differently.
And that would be.
You can pay
more
me
so
later
here
for that.
Because it's member-driven, correct?
Right. Dave, I said you can pay me for that later.
I didn't hear that. What did you say? You're breaking up. Thank you. That was
Mr.
very
Darcher, did you want to jump in?
Yes, I don't mind. With regard to the counts, this is a common thing that happens in a lot of these kind of applications, right? We have traffic. It's like almost like a chicken and egg thing. The traffic counts are taken when an applicant undertakes a project. Then the process, as it is, such as it is in New Jersey, it takes a while to get an application to the point where it's even heard by the board. I would submit that 2 years actually isn't that much of a difference, believe it or not. This application was initiated in 2024, so those counts were very current at the time of the applicant, initiated the application. One thing that we do, and I say we, like I'm a traffic engineer, I dabble, but the guy at my office who reviewed it, Bernie, the older gray-haired gentleman, he's been doing it for 50 years. We confirm the traffic counts and everything, and then one of the things that they do is they actually grow those numbers. There's a growth rate. That's what Mr. Korek was saying. There's a growth rate that's applied to the numbers to update them and sort of make them more current in that regard. So there's historic data that's analyzed and that's kept track of, and so there's a growth that's applied on the traffic so that it does account for that lapse in time. It's almost impossible to have data that's hot off the presses because of the process that we have to go through. DOT applications sometimes take 2, 3, 4 years to get done, right? So in that regard, it's very difficult to have data that's within the last few weeks, a few months, or what have you. So that's how it's dealt with. I don't have any concerns with regard to the time that the data was taken. I would have concerns if it was significantly older. Like we've had applications here at this board and at the planning board where we've had applications that have been hanging around since 2005. And then those are the ones where we say, yeah, go update your numbers. The Woodhaven application's been around for 30 years. So every 5-6 years when they come in with an application, we do ask them to go and update their numbers. That's not the case with this application.
And actually, just to add on to this, Rakesh, and this is a question for you, because I know we have worked on so many projects, but in the recent years, when we did all the warehousing projects, where there was farmland and now you have all these warehouses, we had required post-construction traffic studies. This area, because the larger area, not this site, but the larger area is going to be part of Transit Village and there is more development anticipated. I'm pretty certain when we go through that redevelopment planning stage, there will be a requirement for post-construction studies like 6 months later, because that has been a norm with all the projects that Rakesh and I have been working in the past 5-6 years.
Yeah, absolutely. That's correct. That when we have applications, and again, this is a relatively smaller application. It's a gas station on an existing developed site. But a lot of times when you have the larger scale redevelopment kind of applications, we do require the developer as a condition of approval to go back and do a post-construction study. So these warehouse projects that are being built on Route 9, part of their approvals, they're going to have to go back and actually conduct a post-construction study to basically compare what they said was going to happen to actually what happened, and then they've been obligated to then make any improvements that either my office or the township engineer may deem appropriate as well. So there is a lot of attention paid to those kind of things on the township side and also, of course, on the DOT side.
And Mr. Chairman, I think the applicant would agree to that condition, that to the extent the board would approve this, the applicant would agree to do additional traffic studies or counts, whatever is required, either post-construction or as part of resolution compliance. And should there be an appreciable difference, then the board could provide direction in the resolution of approval for Vina's office and Rakisha's office to review that and make recommendations as to any improvements. And the board always retains jurisdiction also, that if the applicant, if there were concerns, we could always come back on a modified approval.
BJ's has always been a good neighbor to the community, putting the store up, putting the propane in, now seeking. I don't fear that they wouldn't cooperate. And I know you at your word as well, stating that I'm sure that it would be able to be worked out.
Well, and I appreciate the board members' comments about the fact that the data is a little older, or took a couple of years, but unfortunately in New Jersey land use, that's like a 3-month-old baby. So, unfortunately, it's just the nature of the beast, but I think the board always has the right to retain jurisdiction, and I trust your engineer and your board planner to review that data, and if they feel improvements are necessary, I think they would be able to recommend that.
Yeah, I don't have any objection to that.
Thank you. You have a
I
question?
have one more question for the traffic engineer. If I was to go to BJ's, which I am a member, I would get gas first and then go shopping.
If you're going for
Okay.
if you're going for groceries, likely.
And so, once I get gas, I'll have to make a right and leave. How do I get back?
Now, once you get gas,
Okay, you're allowed to go left?
yeah. So there's 2 lanes here that are both out. So
that
you
a
can make a
single-
left and then turn into any one of the
Is that a
aisles.
single line on that road?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
So I'll be able to make a left and go back to BJ's?
Yes, absolutely.
You can go around.
So you can get the gas first and then do your shop.
Oh, of course.
Perfect. Yes, Ms. Andrews.
Okay, I'm a Costco member, and not too long ago, I'm sorry, my husband was a faithful BJ's member. To turn off of 9, there were a few of cars, couldn't get in yet. Finally, we did, and they come in and out, and then you can come in from Texas Road, also in and out. I go there for gas, not when I'm going to shop, because if I can't find a close enough parking space, I'm not the only one.
Right.
Many of us go for our gas before we have to go shopping, because it's crowded. And I don't say you shouldn't put a gas station. My concern is going in one way and out one way. I've always been concerned about that. And that's why I really like to wait for the fire, also for the fire. I know you use templates when you do for fire engines. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong for saying this, but in today's AI, and I'm not a computer person, I don't understand why it can't be on a computer if they're making a turn, how that fire engine is going to make it, rather than just using a template and knowing from inches and inches. Everything is so modern and technological, I just find it difficult, because I live in an area that's one way in and one way out, and that's my biggest fear. Thank you.
Can I just ask you a follow-up question? Would you be opposed if a condition of the approval were provided that the fire official would have to be satisfied with any proposed plan that we submit, revised plan, and the board would clearly have the ability to have jurisdiction over that issue, and Vina's office and Rakisha's office would have input on that as well?
Well, I would just assume that that's the way it would be, regardless of having anything special put in there. I just assume it would be.
Right.
That's just the norm.
Right.
Yeah, that's my, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
What do you think about the planner?
Yes.
What do you think?
We can move quickly, but it's up to you what you want to do.
He's ready. Look at him. He's
I
ready.
don't-
I'll be as brief as you'd like me to be.
5 minutes?
Let's swear him in and get going.
6 minutes or less.
Let's swear him in and get going. All right, hold on. This is still a hearing.
Raise your right hand.
Mr. Ricky, would you please be sworn in and qualified?
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I do.
You state your name and spell your last.
It's Paul Ricky, R-I-C-C-I.
Good evening, Mr. Mr. Ricky, if you would briefly just give us your professional qualifications and confirm that your license is active in the state of New Jersey, so we can have you qualified as a professional planner. Thank you.
Yes, I'm a licensed professional planner in the state of New Jersey. I've been licensed since the year 2000. I'm also a member of the American Institute of Certified Planners. I have a master's degree in city and regional planning, which I received from Rutgers University in 1997. I'm currently a municipal planning consultant in 7 towns. I testify in front of boards regularly. I've been qualified in over 200 communities.
Thank you for putting that on the record, and we appreciate that, and we accept your expertise.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Your license is current and
It is.
in good standing.
It is, yes.
Mr. Ricky, if you would just go through your planning justification. Obviously, we've got the conditional use variance, and we've got the FAR variance, and we have the bulk variances as well. So I will direct the floor to you. Thank you.
Sure. Given the lateness of the evening, I wasn't going to relist all the variances, but I'll try to go through them. Some of them have been addressed by some of the other witnesses as well, so I'll just build on that testimony. Just to recognize here, too, we're in your commercial regional district, your CR district, or regional commercial district, excuse me. And this is a zone that's based on standards for lots that are 40 acres and larger. So what we have occurring here is we have conditional use standards that are very specific that allow gas stations to be on lots in this zone and other zones of the community as small as 20,000 square feet. And you have these 2 zoning requirements clashing with each other. And I'll try to explain that quickly. And so my point is that really overall, and this is a pretty well-vetted application, that despite that we have a number of variances, that this results in sound land use planning and is really not in conflict with your zone as much as it appears to be based on that reason alone. I know the board understands the criteria for a difference between a D3, D4 variance. So I need to go through that in terms of the requirements and burden of proof? Is that?
Just put on the record what you think you need to put on the record.
Okay. Well, just quickly, because we do have D variances here, but the burden of proof is less. The focus is on, does the use remain appropriate, given the fact that we have a D3 variance, and then also the ability of the site and to accommodate the problems associated with the use. And that's similar for the D4 FAR variance. Again, that FAR variance is only associated with the kiosk for which the people working at the gasoline station would be getting out of the sun, rain, and the like. So this is not in any way intensifying the building, adding the need for additional parking and all those other elements. There is a very technical standard. I'm just going to read this into the record. You have 13 conditional use requirements. We meet 11 of those. One of these requirements, it's overly technical. It's been identified as a variance as part of your memo. I'm just going to read it. It says, no vehicle shall be permitted to be standing or parked on the premises other than those used by employees in the indirect or direct operation of the establishment and customers' vehicles waiting repair. So it's our interpretation that this provision was largely meant for automotive gasoline stations that had a repair function, that it didn't want to have cars, just junk cars laying around and the like. And frankly put, any gasoline station where cars are coming in can't meet, based on the interpretation, can't meet this requirement under your ordinance, because it's been determined that those cars that are queuing in there, or because it says standing in the definition, does not meet that requirement. But it's our position that this is a conditional permitted use, that these cars are just coming through, getting gas and leaving. They're not really staging there. They're not going to be eyesores. They leave. They're not going to be parked overnight. So we don't believe that this is a substantial impairment from your zone plan or the intent of your zone plan for that reason. The only other conditional use standard that we don't meet is associated with driveways can't be more than 25 feet wide. Driveways are 30 feet wide today. That's an existing condition in how those driveways are today, and that we're not proposing to make them wider as part of this. So we believe that this is an existing hardship that we suffer from in this regard. Again, the floor area ratio variance, that's just associated with, which I said, those kiosks. People, there's some benefits associated with those. It gives the ability for those patrons to get out of the sun, rain, and inclement weather. And floor area ratio is really, in my opinion, it's meant to control masses of buildings and the intensity of sites in terms of the amount of activity occurs, the need for parking, and all those other elements. None of that's occurring here. So this is in my opinion, a technical floor area ratio variance that's in no way impacting this site. Regarding the bulk variances, you heard it regarding the parking deficiency. It's the planning position based on the testimony from your professionals and our professional that since adequate parking is being provided on this site, that there will be no substantial detriment to the public good in zone plan. I'll just point out that your master plan very quickly specifically identifies seas of asphalt as being problematic and that those are essentially underutilized spaces. I could read it into the record, but this is actually promoting your master plan by eliminating excessive parking in seas of asphalt. We require a variance in terms of the landscape ratio on the site. I'm just going to say that despite the need for that variance, as part of this application, we're making the site more conforming to your zone requirement. So we still require the variance, but we're making the site better by adding increased landscaping. Regarding the minimum accessory structure setback, 90 feet is required, and that's on the setback that adjoins the bank. 90 feet is provided where 100 feet is required. I just want to point out that under your conditional use standards for this use, allows this use, as I said previously, on sites as small as 20,000 square feet, and it would allow the gas station to be permitted as close to 25 feet to the front yard, side, and rear yard. So we have these conflicting ordinance provisions. So the fact that we're providing 90 feet is still, we think, a very ample standard and it vastly exceeds the conditional use requirement for this use in the zone. And that's the same for the accessory structure in the front yard. I mean, gas stations they just don't work in rear yards. They have to be facing the street. And I believe that your conditional use requirements recognizes that, but because it's an accessory use in front of the BJ's building, that triggers this additional variance on a lot that requires 40 acres and the building was set back to begin with. So we don't believe that's, again, a substantial departure, and this represents a better zoning alternative for the site. You heard from the site engineer, we're seeking the canopy to be 17 feet high, where 15 feet is permitted. That's needed so trucks can safely pass under that canopy. And this is a zone that allows heights for principal structures up to 65 feet. So this would not be creating a height that's out of character with the area. Regarding the signage height, 18 feet or 60 square feet is permitted, where 40 feet and 200 square feet is proposed. In face value, that appears to be a substantial departure from your zone plan. We did look at signage in the area. I'm just going to jump to this portion of it. Old Bridge Shopping Plaza, the Kohl's sign, we measured that to be approximately 570 square feet and 47 feet tall. The Home Depot and Walmart, approximately 440 square feet and 45 feet tall. The Old Bridge Gateway at Marshall, 632 square feet and 59 feet tall. So we believe that our sign, despite the need for variance relief, is consistent with the corridor and will not result in a negative visual impact and will fit in this environment. I think everyone recognizes that this is a site that is the building setback. In terms of access into the building, it's limited, so it could benefit from a planning standpoint to have additional exposure for this use as well, as I believe as a land use planner. And we also need the additional sign on the canopy that was testified to our site engineer. Simply put, this is a canopy that's surrounded by parking fields and the like. The applicant is just looking for a little bit more exposure on that canopy so people leaving the BJ's can see that sign and get gas. Is it absolutely necessary? No, but the applicant's asking for the board to consider that in terms of the fact that this sign will be visible from multiple locations. So we meet many master plan objectives: reuse and reinvestment in existing commercial site, repurposing underutilized parking, reducing the sea of asphalt, strengthening the Route 9 commercial corridor, coordinate access, circulation, and traffic management. And there's more. I'm just going to cut it off there. So for the reasons I mentioned, we meet several purposes of the municipal land use law. Purpose A, this advances your master plan and promotes the general welfare of the community. Purpose G, provides sufficient space and appropriate locations for commercial uses to meet the needs of New Jersey citizens. We believe that it continues to promote the free flow of traffic. This is located off of 9. All the queuing is going to occur on site. And also, Purpose M, the coordination of land development procedures and activities that essentially as well. In terms of negative criteria, the variances can be granted without a substantial detriment to the public good in your zone plan. This is essentially, in my opinion, this is a growth area of the township. It's a commercial zone. We heard from the other witnesses and your staff at some time, and these issues have all been largely vetted. We believe it's a well-vetted application that's not going to result in substantial detriments to the public good. That's namely the surrounding property owners. And the intent and purpose of your zone plan, we're largely here in compliance, is that we're conditionally permitted use in the zone. I think I demonstrated that the fact that we need several variances, that those variances on face value appear to be greater than they are, but when you really look at this site and some of your other standards, that we're really very close to being a fully conforming application. I'm going to cut it there unless the board would like more testimony. For all these reasons, I believe this is an application that results in sound land use planning. Mr. Izzo is looking at me and smiling, so I'm trying to take that cue as well.
Thank you, Mr. Ricky.
Thank you, Mr. Ricky, for your testimony.
Ms. Sawant.
I have no questions, Ricky.
Mr. Dargy?
No questions.
Let me go by to the board. We'll start with Ms. Gomez. Here's the man.
This is all gasoline, no diesel, right?
No,
All gasoline, no diesel.
do we have low-flow diesel here? I don't know. There's low-flow diesel, so that, my understanding, I'm not a traffic guy, but like a 18-wheeler couldn't come up, they wouldn't
That's
come
what I
here
want to know.
because
That's what
it's
I
a
want to know,
low
because you're
flow, so-
saying 17 to
Yeah.
15 feet,
Yeah.
and, I'm visioning these trucks coming in trying to get gas.
No,
That's
tractor trailers
that's what I was
The low flow
wondering.
takes too
Okay.
long for them to fill up, so this is like a Volkswagen Jetta
Yeah.
diesel type.
Okay.
Ms. Spinelli?
No, I'm good.
No
Mr.
question.
Gagnon? Mr. Rizzo?
I don't know, should he repeat everything?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Mr. Izzo.
I'm good.
Mrs. Andrews?
You said there'll be no electric vehicle stations there. It's just strictly gas?
Oh, you mean chargers? You mean chargers, you mean?
The charging stations, yeah.
I believe under, in your ERI's memorandum, there is a requirement, I think it's for one ready-make station to go in, correct? That's correct. Yeah, so.
That's correct. That's per our township ordinance.
Right, that's per the ordinance.
Is that going to go
Thank
over
you.
on the shopping side, on the store side?
I believe so.
Probably.
Yeah, I would think
I
so,
would think it'd be along the back row.
Yes. Yes.
Counselor, anything? Nothing. I have nothing. I thank you for your testimony. It was very concise, and I think you hit on all the points
Okay, thank you, Mr.
that were needed. As I said before, I think that BJ's has been a good friend to the community and to its members. I think they will continue to be, regardless of whether the approval or not. But I think that they provide good service, and I think this is going to be probably good for the community as well, saving on them, like, as Mr. Scogno said himself, I go and I buy gas and then I would buy that. So when you do that one-stop shopping, you're saving fuel too, and you're not putting more vehicles on the road at the same time. So
I understand.
I don't really have any issues with that. Are you going to ask for a vote, sir?
Yeah, were you going to open to the public?
All right, well, I'm going to do that, but I'm saying you're going to seek a vote tonight,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, the only question I would have is, given the fact that we only have 6 members, I would just perhaps, after you open up to the public, if there's an opportunity to at least hear.
As I would at any application, in fairness to the applicant, I always ask anybody, if there is a problem and you want to discuss it, please do it now.
Right.
And I will do the same thing after I go to the public.
I realize that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Himmelman.
Thank you.
This is matter 23-2025Z, BJ's Club, located on US 9 for external fuel dispensers. If there's anyone here in the courtroom this evening, please raise your hand or stand if you'd like to be heard on this matter. Once again, this is likely to be the only time for this public portion. I guess everyone here is a professional, so I don't think they're going to step forward. I'll close the public portion. Final comments from you, sir?
Mr. Chairman, I think the applicant did an excellent job with its presentation. I think we've gone through extensive TRC meetings. I think that all the technical issues have been, at least to date, ERI and Vina's office have been satisfied. I did hear some of the concerns with regard to some of the circulation issues and parking and queuing, and I think that the applicant did a very good job addressing those. And clearly, this board still retains the jurisdiction over all these issues. And quite frankly, I trust your engineer's office to be able to oversee that. So based on all of that and the lateness of the hour, I would ask that the board at least favorably act upon the application, but I would like to obviously hear comments before.
And I would add that Mr. Dorger just did put on the record saying that he felt that all the engineering issues, if not solved, could easily be dealt with. And I take it both of you men at your word that that would happen.
I would agree.
Is there anybody here on the board this evening and they would like to comment on anything concerning this application?
No, I'm good.
I'm just concerned with the traffic report of 2024, with everything that Mrs. Angel brought up, that we had quite an extensive construction building going on down in that area. And 2024, that just bothers me a little bit.
Okay, well.
I think you did say you're going to do a post-mortem on this?
I mean, yes, but again, if the board still has concerns about the traffic counts and some other issues, the applicant's willing to address those before the board acts on this.
Okay, let me just see, Mr. Izzo, did you want to say anything?
I'm satisfied.
And Mrs. Andrews, did you want to say anything?
No more questions.
Counselor, you had nothing? That's in your hands, Mr. Himmelman. I find that I believe you've met the burden of proof for the D3 and all the other attached bulk items, so,
I would
and the
concur,
D4.
But again, as a condition of any approval, the applicant would agree to do traffic counts again, even as part of resolution compliance and before construction commences. And I think so if the board acts upon this favorably, if ERI has concerns or Vina's office has concerns, the applicant will be willing to come back to the board if needed for that review. So I would.
Mr. Dodgy?
Yeah, one of the things, and I don't know if this will give Mr. Izzo and Ms. Andrews some level of comfort, one of the things that we do have in our memo is evaluating that traffic signal and making some timing adjustments and things like that. From a pure circulation standpoint, like the accesses into the gas station or anything, this is a sound design as far as getting in and out of the gas station, getting in and out of the bank, getting in and out of the BJ's, everything, that there are no conflicting movements and there's no queues backing up, blocking accesses and things like that. That we paid a lot of attention to that. That's one of the reasons why it's taken several months to get this application before the board. The only outstanding item that's really left to be evaluated is the impact at that traffic light. And once we have updated numbers, updated counts, and I would actually suggest that the timing be evaluated, maybe even post-approval or post-construction, so that the actual timing can be adjusted based off of the actual conditions after the gas station would have been built.
I mean, I concur. I just want the board to understand that BJ's is committed to making sure that all these traffic issues are addressed. We're not looking to move forward with the project. The applicant is in the business of, obviously, consumer sales, and in this case, it would be fuel sales. The last thing we want to have is a situation where the site can't, there's queuing issues or there's backups going on to the various roads. And I think with those conditions in place, I think the town is safeguarded from that. And so I'm hopeful that addresses the board's concerns.
There was just one concern here about the fire report. Do you agree to submit an updated and improved fire report?
Absolutely. Well, we would provide, yes, and we would, as a condition of the approval, the fire official would have to be satisfied.
We didn't get a report from him?
We did, but he did raise concerns, and the applicant is going to submit a revised plan to the fire official and have him approve that.
And
that would
I
be-
believe that can be done through compliance review.
Right, correct. We wouldn't be able to get final sign-off without the fire official approving the plan.
Right,
And if the fire official doesn't approve it, we can't meet resolution compliance, and the project can never be constructed.
Well, we're missing 2 members, obviously, and we're short one, so we don't have 9, we have 8, and we're missing 2 tonight.
I
So, again, I put the ball in your court on that. If you want to have a continuance to come back here for any reason, that would certainly be your choice.
I mean, the only reason I would indicate or suggest that is if, you wanted to see an updated memo from the fire official, that would be one. I mean, the traffic counts, I think that's something that the applicants already agreed to comply with anyway. So if the board would like to see an updated memo from the fire official, we could certainly do that and defer the vote on this.
It's totally up to you. I'm good with it as it is, but I know that you can't do it without the fire official's approval anyway.
Right, exactly.
So I'm okay with that. I know that that's going to come through, and you're either going to agree to it, or you're not going to.
Right, exactly.
You're not going to be able to
So
do
I
it.
think at the
So
end of the
you'll be
day-
back here either way. but-
Right. I think at the end of the day, I'm comfortable proceeding now because
Okay.
the fire official would have final say, and this even.
Well, of course, it's going to have that anyway.
No, but to the point where we couldn't even comply with resolution compliance. So the project could never be constructed. So I'm comfortable with the board at least acting on it tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel you've met your burden of proof.
Yep.
I'm
I appreciate
satisfied
it.
with
I
the
appreciate
testimony
that.
this evening.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. We're going to go for a vote?
Yeah.
Mr. Buckley, this would be one vote for the entire major preliminary final site plan with C&D variance.
That's correct.
Correct? Someone interested in moving this forward?
I'll move it.
This was second.
Moved in second. Yeah, who was that? Ms. Spinelli?
Me.
Okay, and Mr. Izzo,
So
seconds.
is over second?
Mr. Izzo, second.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scoglie?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes, as I said, I feel comfortable that you're good neighbors and you'll make sure that you'll cross all the Ts and dot the Is.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
And the board and your staff, and I appreciate the lateness of the hour.
Yeah, I thank you for staying and understanding I had to move you out of the way there in the beginning. But thank all the professionals for your testimony this evening, gentlemen.
Thank you so much, and have a good weekend.
You as well, sir. Any further business to come before the board? There is no one in the courtroom for general public comments. I'm going to ask someone to move for an adjournment.
Move it.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? We stand adjourned.